Alrighty, hello everyone. We're just getting stuff set up today. We're going to be doing the Fight Night of Corvette Jousting mode. So, a little bit earlier than our usual stream by about an hour or so. Just had to get my stuff together. We're going to be hopping onto the main event stage now, where everyone's just getting themselves set up. Lone Wolf has been so kind as to help with some of the hosting stuff. And hello to everyone as well. I saw we had Markson, Lost Leviathan in here, a couple of others trickling in as they come. Gonna get ourselves set up. I'm gonna probably be eyeing the sky, but I have cooked up a fleet for myself here. This is a special event where each player is going to be participating on. Well, it's gonna be we're gonna have two teams. Okay, two teams. You have a Corvette. You've got 300 points. There's a limitation on stuff that you're able to put on there. Namely, you're going to only be allowed to use torpedoes in this case. You can only have a CLS-3, no other external mounts. 300-point limit. Exactly one Sprinter Corvette. You may use any and all internal components and modules. You can only be loaded with torpedoes. Your seekers are limited to command, wake, and ARAD, so there's that. Torpedo design cannot exceed 3.2 kilometers in max range. Besides that, that's just kind of the rules of it. We're just getting stuff set up now as we get everything going here, so yeah, should be a fun time. Gonna try and make sure everything works. All right, I think that we are all good. Lone Wolf and I are just in the event stage right now as everything getting going. I'm gonna put this. All right, yeah, let's keep ball. Get out of here, 8-ball. How do you have your fleet overpriced? So it's 300-point limit. You fool. I'm calling 3 action there. All right. Anyways, hopefully everything is working right on the capture size. Can you bring AMM torps? I guess you could. There's not so Lone Wolf.
The password is Joust. It is Fight Night Easy Kide Moon.
Yeah. Audio capture should be set, I think, and levels somewhat stable. We'll find out. Let me just fluff around with some of this UI stuff. Chat, you're going to scooch over just a smidge. There we go. Perfect. You can see we get everyone hopping in here now, and things should be going. Team balance will be whatever it is. I'm going to be doing spectatorship as usual and yelling my brains out with this. Yeah, we're just getting everyone in here. Once again, the password is Joust, all lowercase. We're on Fight Night Easy on the Cade Moon server. So, yeah, just hop in here. We're on the small testing range large map, and yeah, things are what they sound like. I've been invited to speak. All right, there we go. Excellent. Hello, Lone Wolf.
All right, so the plan for today, it's pretty simple. This is a pretty simple game mode, but it's pretty fun. We will have the server fill up, and if there are, there's an uneven number of people, then either me or you, we can go in and balance the team while the other person casts, I think, is the good plan.
Sounds good to me. There we go.
And we're going to start with small testing range, which I have no idea if it's going to work with this number of people. Some ships may spawn inside of each other, but we'll see. Provided this works, we'll just play a classic small testing range. If this doesn't work, then or if it does work afterwards, we'll go to Cliff. And then we also have Flint and Pebbles as other 2v2 maps that can be used for this.
All right.
Or by popular demand, we could go back to the classic testing range, but
yeah,
if having terrain doesn't end up being fun. But
we had Rocket Shuttle Knight work pretty well, so fingers crossed it's a similar story.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I assumed so. Yeah, because I was told that Rocket Shuttle Knight worked fine on small testing. So
one way to find out, I suppose. Here we go. Twitch side stream looks all good and stuff, so we're good for that. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We have
got 9 and 8 respectively for 2 teams. Give it another second, see if we get one more.
Just to make ultra clear on the rules, because I have a few questions about this. You should not be having a VLS or a TLS. You should only be having a CLS, because it seems like a small difference, but that imposes some interesting trade-offs when you decide to drive tank, for example. So I'd like everyone to have a CLS, please.
Yep. We will be applying spray bottles to anyone who does not.
Also, if your fleet is 299 points, you have failed me. You are actively throwing, and you should put sand shot in your magazine for no particular reason.
And some people asking, can you bring tech like cruise torpedoes or AMM torps? And I think that as long as it falls
I
under
mean,
the approved seekers and the range limit, you're fine.
yeah, approved seekers, range limit, 300 points limit. That's it. Do whatever the heck you would like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can only have the CLS and no other external mounts, but yeah. Okay. I believe it's been 5 minutes. I think we should start getting this on the road.
Yep.
So,
We have 10 on 10. Looks good to me.
10 on 10, excellent. Let's have blue team go to Team Bread and orange team go to Team Bullseye.
You all know where to go. Head out to your respective stages, and yeah. You have any predictions for some funny stuff we might see off the bat with this one, Lone Wolf? Because I sent you a fleet file of something that I cooked up as kind of like an idea, so...
Oh yeah, I think the parallax is definitely going to be tech, right?
Mhm.
The squeezing the parallax to get the target lock there and then going with a bunch of command is definitely going to be good.
Yeah.
But then the difficulty comes when then you get like attacked with ARAD and you have to then turn off your radar. Then what happens then, right?
Yeah. So my thought was it's going to be a fun case of trying to figure out who's got the parallax on the team at playing like the target painter support, right? Because within this range, it's like you've got no jamming. You're going to detect the Corvette. You just lock them up there with like the 9-kilometer range. So you're going to have to play guesswork on who has that. So you're going to have like an AWACS craft with parallax. And then you're going to have other people with like command torps who want to like target one guy and then they're going to get blasted by everything. So you'll have to see like maybe AMM torps to counter. It's going to be cool seeing how this develops over time. And with the like lack of defenders or Pavis or anything, I think torpedo tech is going to be all over the place because normally everyone has to rely on that like high G corkscrew to get through, right?
Yeah, the high G corkscrew here. I mean, it works, but the thing is, if you don't have the speed, right?
Well, defenders aren't allowed, right?
Well, no, but the speed matters because if you're what am I saying? Right? If you're jousting with another Corvette,
It's all about who hits first.
and it's if you hit first, then that disables their command guidance, right?
True.
So if you got 2 torpedoes and one is faster than the other, then it's just going to hit first, disable command guidance, so you can dodge. Or
Question 2 of like how fast can you juke, and can we see like a whiplash sprinter going at like 63, right, or however fast it goes? One of those things might potentially be able to juke a really low G torpedo if it banks hard enough. Plus, with the error sometimes of some of the seekers.
Yeah, it is possible to dodge, definitely.
The irony of small testing range, large. Yeah, there's the other question. When are we going to get large workshops, right? We have small workshops, had them for years.
Ooh, late joiner.
11 on 10. That's...
Okay, spectating, we're fine.
All right, we'll take that. Polly just electing to move out. Kind of appreciate that. Just people hopping out, keeping it fair and even.
Okay, why is Team 1 not rated up?
That's a good question.
I'm just gonna go down. I was gonna go down there and just double check with them.
Hit him with a hammer. See you in a bit. Alright, so the not so lone wolf is just briefly departing to go yammer at peoples. It will likely be back in a bit. Yeah. I'm gonna polymorphous and go for the spectator, keep this thing balanced. I swore I messed with my audio settings and everything feels a little different now. Like the ticks are a little bit louder, but that's not that bad. Manages to dodge command size 2s in a shuttle before. Raider Sprinter can probably juke it. That's a very true point there. All right, so yeah. Could see anything along those lines then. Gonna be interesting either way. Seeing people discussing about some of the texts like dodging size 2s command type before. So like a Raider Sprinter could be very evasive here, just depending on like how well the target leading goes. Plus there's always the like innate inaccuracy with the command seeker now. Hey, Lone Wolf, you want to join me in harping on the players a little bit? That's the wrong button.
Harping on the players. What do you mean?
Well, I'm just saying, it's like they've had all week to prepare their fleets, right? And, well...
Yeah, well, what they said down there is they got too many people who tried the spyglass tech, the parallax tech, and they need more people who aren't trying the parallax tech.
It's like, all right, we have too many spotters, and then you're going to have the next match where you have no spotters at all. Yeah. I think that's the case of Nebulous. Everyone is like, ooh, hey, here's a cool tech I can run. I'm going to run this. And then it's like, ah, right, it only works if I'm like the supplementary one, not just everyone doing it. We got 11 now. We had Polymorphous in the spectators. Maybe have them go onto the move. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
Sorry, bounce.
That happened.
Yep. 22-person locked lobby had you wondering what was going on. Yeah, welcome to Fight Night, basically. We're just doing Corvette shit, basically. I think, yeah, Corey's got a good example of this. Everyone going like the parallax tech is like watching a team accidentally taking 5 intel centers in their fleets. Which, like, okay, at least you brought it, right? Like, who wants to pay the 90-point tax? Everyone just points at each other. You pay it. Okay, I was about to say, does this server actually have the auto balance thing on it? I don't... Neat. It's not. All right, orange team is ready. We're just waiting on one player on blue, and then I think we're good to go. All right. Well, I mean, we're trying to get like 22 players to work together. It could be worse. Oop, that's uneven teams. See if we can balance this out. Lone Wolf, did you want to just hop into team 1 and play?
Let's move.
Uncover this password. The password is Joust, all lowercase then. Kiba, by the way, if you want to just hop in here and participate, just having your fleet ready in that. Oop. Well, we had to join, and it flickered.
Why can't I join? Oh, because I'm ready. That's why.
There we go. All right, we got one of ours. Let's just bounce the teams out quick.
Okay.
Grab your slots. There we go. Perfect. All right, I think that's... Yep. All right, we should be good then once Lone Wolf just grabs their Corvette fleet.
Done. Let's go.
All right.
All right. I'll see you later.
Yep. Have a good one, Lone Wolf. Turn off their little perspective cam. There we go. All right. Anyways, back to just the Catboy here. We got one spare in the spectator wings, but they'll fill out in a little bit. Need everyone to ready up. Go, 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 go. All right. Let's get this one underway, shall we, folks? We've been chilling for a little bit here. That's it, 12 minutes past event start time or whatever. So honestly, for setting up first lobby and the little headaches and stuff, not that bad. Everyone appears to be under the 300-point limit or at it exactly, so that's all good. Get the last people in here. We got 12. See if this person wants to. If we could just get last person in here. Yeah, we'll just try and get this thing to go out. There we are. All right, everybody ready up. Come on. It's 11 on 11. Let's get this. All right, team 2, locked in, ready. Let's go. Team 1, come on. You'll have your fleets. Pick it. Lock it in. Game start in 10, 9, 8, 7. I'm not counting down the rest. Let us watch some torpedo vet action. I'm going to dip myself down a little bit because it's going to be a very long fleet list, and I know that. Alrighty. Corvette night. Let's get started, shall we? A fine Saturday afternoon where I'm at, so let's watch some Corvette carnage. Come on, spawning fleets. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Corvette Carnage. It's Corvette Jousting, torpedoes only, all that jazz. Everyone is deploying the small testing range large edition, so that way we don't bump heads with each other. Blue team already deploying across the top of the map. Orange team looking like they're going for a bit of the kind of dotted, staggered line here across the way. So we're already getting some geometry wars, just like we had last time around with, what was it, Rocket Shuttle Night. We had some of the cases, triangle versus line. Let's see if anyone gets the funny copy pastas going again. Looks like blue team kind of deploying themselves in a bit more of like a staggered formation here. Are they doing like a question mark or something? It looks like they're doing a question mark. That's funny. All right, so we have a mysterious question mark device going here, and they're just trying to... Oh, maybe not. They're going for like a circle blob thing now? They had a question mark at first. Okay, they're clearly on the path for something here. Orange team is all but completely locked in, just waiting on one of them. They're just trying to figure out exactly where do they position their stuff. Everyone has a dot they're trying to paint with here. Are they trying to make a 7? Are they trying to make a question mark? What are they doing here? Won't become an angry blob. We'll see about that. Vertical line versus horizontal line. Who's going to win? The little dot thingy going on here. Is this shape they're trying to make? I know all of them are on comms right now, so we're just going to have to figure out what exactly that is. Goodbye, clone the stream. All right, you have a good one then. Yes, participants to not try and view the stream as it would give them information. That's at these kind of games are kind of hard to really get much information besides what you see. So looks like B-wing from Star Wars might be B-wing, if you will. Alrighty, let's take a look on the deploy. What are we gonna get? Oh look, it's a torpedo Corvette. Face of an ocean. Yeah, it's kind of an ocean thing. More or less how Neb works. I know, giant space ocean. Okay, a little bit of glitchiness going on there. Anyways, blue team has deployed themselves kind of towards the top of the map here, going heavy on that vertical line. Horizontal line going to be from the orange team. Everyone, as we see here, is outfitted with just torpedoes, and that is it. Some of them have damage control teams, other ones don't. This thing's DC to high hell. Okay, so reinforced brick here. Scryers, front lines. Honestly, Scryer makes a lot of sense for this. Para spotted. You can see some of them have been fire control locked onto here. Some people have gone for the parallax tech. So there's 2 plant control centers, and then you can either take the whiplash drive or not. Whiplash is not required for this tech. You just need the reactor and 2 plant controls, and then you're able to lock up enemies. This is very important for your corvettes trying to use command torpedoes, as you will have 0 track error. Command Seeker has a slight bit of an accuracy, but there's very good odds of you trying to hit a target there. So it's quite good if you want to get just within that combat range and then try towards the enemy. See somebody already going for what looks like the reverse deployment here. Raider drive on this thing, so probably just getting ready to dodge like hell. Most likely going to be firing off and then evading. We see the first torpedo out in the water of the event. The Magnum torpedo headed towards its target over here. Looks like the end of days of Lambo is going to take this hit here. It's locked on. No! Out of range. Did not measure the distance correctly. More torpedoes going off here. We can see Microsoft Edgelord with the circumference coming out here. Going to be trying to fire its own torpedoes. Might be getting a strike out here. That is going to be Edge takes one to the guts. It loses their reactor and has no damage control team. They are immobilized and out of here. The torpedo is going to whiz off into the abyss. Edge is first blood on this case, driving a little too far forward and eating a bunch of torpedoes for it. More command torps trying to find their way. We see some with jammers on them as well. The idea behind the jammers trying to jam certain ships here to win your joust. That way, hopefully, you can mess up their targeting, tracking stuff. Some of those seem to be going all over the place here as they're just whizzing around looking for stuff. Any of those running out of fuel. Oop, not so Lone Wolf themselves going to take a hit, instantly loses their torpedo complement, can get this thing back with a good restore, though. They did elect to bring at least one of those in a reinforced locker. More torpedoes going out. Bambi over here with the fussy means is going to get crippled by a second strike after their initial one knocked them down low. See more of these torpedoes going through here. Looking for targets around here. Some of these are equipped with ARAD seekers, so even if their command does go down, they will be able to detect things, kind of a counter check towards some of the jamming. Swing and a miss on that one. Track quality error for the roundhouse. All right. Looks like the fast mover here definitely lived up to his name and ran forward and is, well, optimistically trying to get itself back up online. They do need the antenna, which is something that's kind of slept on for this situation. If you lose your antenna, you lose your command torpedo ability, and that's your primary armament. See some of these torpedoes going over here. The good old anti-ship missile going to find 8-Ball there. 8-Ball able to get one out in turn. However, unfortunately, that is a command seeker with no antenna, so that thing is going to go off into the abyss. Data Wish is going to take the better part of that joust here, and that secondary missile is going to follow up, and most likely... actually, a bad impact there on 8-Ball. Not going to be enough to quite kill them, but still, they are combat ineffective for the moment. Current stance, seeing both teams kind of bloodying each other's noses. Blue team looks like they're taking the worst of it, though. Many more of their ships reading damage on the board here. Honestly, I love this performance of the game. Like, why can't we just have this be the game all the time? Yeah, it's perfect, smooth, silky, 60 FPS. I can just smoothly glide around the whole time. Nobody has to worry about guns or radar tracks or anything else like that. We'll just throw torpedoes at each other. Perfect. There's no trap. Why command? Wouldn't other seekers work better? The only approved seekers are command, ARAD, and wake type. So you have to try and pick with that. No act seekers here. This is why command is the case for just torpedoing action. And one of these things going out here has wake secondary on it. To see if this command seeker will find true or not. Just ARAD and wake. Yep. Command, ARAD, and wake. Those are your approved seekers. You can find all the stuff in the events list with the special rules there. All right, torpedoes going out here, exchanging various blows. People kind of looking for targets. Hang on, that's a rule break. No act seekers. Rule break. Bad. Calling that one out there. Yep. Billib, in this case, I believe, had a act seeker on that one, so that is going to be a rule break there. Not allowed. Yep. Gonna ask people to please honor the agreement to that. Command, ARAD, and wake only. Yeah. ARAD, wake can be defeated all, stop, and MCON. Yep. Using an ARAD with wake secondary would probably be good. Yeah, you can have different tech. You can mix your complement. You get 6 torpedoes to use as you please here. Mark Winner took a hit there and lost their torpedo complement, but is still alive here on the flank. The torpedoes exchange. Not so Lone Wolf going to take another gut shot there and then probably get followed up. Yep, that's going to be them combat ineffective here, and I believe out of the game. Damn. They got one torpedo out, but that's going to be that one decided. All right. One of these torpedoes going off here. Blue team starting to make a bit of a comeback, actually, as Orange team, while they had an initial advantage, now taking quite a few hits back and forth here. Huh. This is not looking ideal for Orange team, as they have suffered quite a few losses here, whereas Blue team, if we take a look at it, only one of them is actually flat dead. Orange team having a bit of a rough go now, as they've kind of split themselves up here. Blue team has a little bit more of a consolidated force, I feel, over here. Like, see some of these players are going to be joining together like this. It's a bit of a risk what they're doing here, presenting the drive towards the enemy, but at the same time, they're hoping that they can just use the whiplash drive's superior speed to just try and full burn away from the enemy and get out of their range. Have like go backwards and then turn around and see where they go with that. So did not forget hot needs G. Oh, that's right. Hot launch would be an important thing. To see the Lamb here take a smack in the nose is still actually alive despite that. Most of that getting soaked by the thruster block there. Has its own torpedoes here, anti-ship missile in the waters. Blue team has a couple of vessels around. They're still technically alive, but functioning crippled. So I think that this one can provide radar coverage, which is kind of nice if you want to get track quality superior close to the enemy. 8-ball might be taking a hit there. 8-ball does take a hit there, loses the torpedo complement. Second anti-ship missile coming out towards them. That is going to swing and a miss just barely on that. Whiplash drive is going crit from a fuel line fire. Should be able to fix it. Has the ability to get the torpedoes and antenna back. Torpedoes out and turn against Potato Issue. Is going to get smoked over here by one. Probably a second one here from a G'day torpedo. Ooh, swing and a miss there. Slight track error, I think. Or, no, that's seeker error, not track error. Vessel down here going to take one hit as well. There we see them losing their main torpedo complement. Does still have the ability to perform offensive action. Not anymore. That's going to hurt. We've got a torpedo out going towards Small Goodman. Does Small have the ability to evade? No, they do not. Loses the torpedo launcher and has no restores anymore. Couple good exchanges going back and forth here, so we just see torpedo after torpedo after torpedo firing, trying to smack whatever targets they can. Don't really have much to say in terms of like spectator evaluation. Both teams have bloodied each other pretty badly now. I feel like blue team does have a slight advantage just in terms of the like knocked out ship count, but we'd have to take a exact look at each damage control board to know exactly, because as we see, targets can look kind of healthy like that until suddenly they are not. Losing radar or such can be a big deal. Annihilation Victory is also another option here. Oops, song that people requested from Twitch chat. Very well. Battle cry of the torpedo people here. We're going to just watch as more of this goes down, keeping it in this kind of like... Actually, let's zoom out a little bit here. Just take a look. The black abyss of space as we see all of these ships kind of blooding each other's noses. Yeah, there's a bunch of different texts that I feel we're going to find out as the night goes on. Just take a look here. This... okay, so they are healthy, but they are unfortunately out of torpedoes there, so they're going to have to decide what they want to do with their ships. There's going to be a real case of who has torpedoes left on a team. They have sand shots, torpedo here. Because if you run out... sorry. If you run out of enough torps to kill off the enemy, then I think your team just might kind of lose out. Let's see. Ambient Lamp still has plenty of ammunition here in the backfield. See, Mr. Train still has torpedoes. I think the blue team just wins this, right? Yeah, I don't see orange team having sufficient munitions to be able to take out any of these, because if we take a look at the board right now, there is 1 torpedo here, 2 torpedoes here, and that's it. That is 3 torpedoes versus a fully healthy team, which still has 1, 2, 3 offensively capable ships. Oh, make that 4, actually. Ammunition counter, right, because this one's got a emptied cell. Can they fire and be offensive, though, is another question. It's on them to decide which ships are the ones that are priority targets worth annihilating or not. This is a game of annihilation, so you have to make sure that you kill off all the enemy's offensive capability. That might be a waste here. Oh no, Wake Torpedo going to go swinging into a already dead ship. That's unfortunate. Need to identify your targets correctly. You need to save every torpedo you can at this stage, because we're in the late game. Whoever has torpedoes left is going to be very important. Internet Explorer down here has 1 torp left. They do have the ability to fire things offensively. They're trying to get their plane control back up online. In turn, next to them, we're going to see Lambo over here does not have any torpedo ability, so that's just going to be a empty there. Kind of a cat and mouse game, as everyone has to decide, okay, who is worth torping, who is empty, who is ready to, well, basically, like, secure the game, because you got to use your torps here. I think it's GG call from Orange Team is they're just doing like quick count of torpedoes and stuff there. GG, no ordnance left. All right, yep, everyone who has no ordnance punches out. Blue team will take it. All right, I believe it was... Who was it who had the rule break there? I think it was Philip. Yep, Philip, correct your torps. No act seekers allowed. TMD... ARAD, wake only. There we go. All right. Figured we were going to get at least one of those as everyone's just kind of getting their stuff set up. And yeah, I don't think that anyone else had a bit of that. Mr. Train, you too. Checking everyone's torpedo boats here. Make sure we don't get a repeat of that. Yeah, please read the rule event sections. Yeah. Anyways, that's going to be all for round 1 here. Blue team will take it. All right. We'll just move on to round 2 real quick. Waiting on everyone to get going here. I don't think we had anyone else. Let's see. I think everyone else was good with their build. Yep, I didn't see any other act seekers. We just saw the one there, so just, yeah. Let's remind people, there's the event rules. Please read those before participating and all that. We try and do these custom events. We want everyone to abide by those rules and stuff. We don't treat it as maliciousness. Just don't do it again, All right, let's get back to this, shall we? Ready, hopping back.
All right.
There we are.
How was that first match?
Pretty cool, honestly. We got to see the dangers of the initial joust, how that can happen, the real threat of running out of torpedoes in the late game, just what happens with the different seeker combos, how people can MCon or run out the distances or stuff there. We did have like 1 or 2 rule breaks that we had to just correct the act seekers, but besides that, I think that was a pretty good first round. Now, what map was it we were loading up? Is it Pebbles, I think?
There we go.
Excellent.
All right.
People asking where are the event rules. If you're looking for the event rules, you can find them under, let me scroll up. It would be under the community events tab. That's where the event itself and the rules are posted. Please update yourselves on the rules of events before participating and all that. Just keep it simple and safe and all that jazz. I'm going to just take a quick moment here to step away. So, Lone Wolf, it's just going to be you at the stream for a moment. All right.
Sounds good. All right. I'm just going to get the next match organized.
Excellent. I'll be back in a minute or so.
All right. Everyone is back up here. Fantastic. What we are going to do to re-scramble the teams is everyone is now going to join spectator. All right, if you did not play in the last match, you are now going to select a team. Select a team, any team. If you did play in the last match, you can now select a team, any team. Can't join the team? What? Oh, fuck, right. I need Cliff Large, sorry. There we go. Alright. Now don't head to team voice yet. Going to just check over these teams. Make sure they're roughly even.
Alrighty, Lone Wolf, I am back. Thanks for waiting. Saw you had to get the map change loaded thing.
Can we get, let's see, Potato-ish and Ambient Lamp to swap teams?
Audio's just a bit. There we go.
Alright, excellent. This looks pretty good. Well, wait, it's 13 versus 14.
Oh no,
so
the horror. I think you'll have to play again.
I will play again. Alright. Alright, and now we will go to same thing. Team 1 to Bread, Team 2 to Bullseye. Good luck, everyone.
You know where to go, folks, so head on down. Ready myself up here. I'm going to shamelessly eat potato chips while watching torpedo corvettes destroy each other, offering some unhelpful commentary. People going, what's that? Andy Star Galaxy is going to stream the perspective of Team 1 if you want to watch. All right, well, fortunately, I can't really watch stuff that... Crunch chips. Now, Andy Star Galaxies, go ahead, load yourself up on Twitch. If anyone wants to take a look at Team 1's perspective, you can go check them out. Let me just see. Can I load up your Twitch there, Andy Stars? I think I can. If this works. Okay, yep, they've just gone live. Well then. In case then, you know what? Just to give them a little bit of promotion for that, I am just going to give them a quick little shout out here. Yippee! You know, so go take a look at Andy Star Galaxy's perspective as well if you want some team side nonsense. Yeah. I think, were they one of the new people who just started streaming Neb stuff? Yes, they were. All right, well, I'm going to give them a follow as well. There you go. Enjoy. They do have to get themselves off an OSP fleet, though. Truly, OSP fleets after the update where tugs and flying ships got more expensive, right? I just realized I got the Lone Wolf thing still up. Turn that off. There we go. Perfect, yeah. Oh no, my meat tugs and my bulkers, they're more expensive. No! Where is it? Bilib with a 1 point overfleet. What the heck is Bilib? Where are they? Oh, nope, never mind. There's 1 point over. Nuh-uh, they say. Can be a bit of a pain sometimes getting just the right number lineup. If you just your torpedoes, because you're 1 point over, it goes from like 301 to like 295, or you like mix and match shift torpedoes. The nice thing about this is that I basically just get to sit here. I just get to commentate about torpedo corvettes doing stuff. I get to basically sit in a chair and eat ketchup chips all afternoon, which is what I was going to do anyways. So, hey, we take those. That's how weekends go. There's some lovely weather if you don't mind wildfire smoke, though. I'm just living the easy, enjoyable life. Yep, we got 14 on 14 Corvette action. We're going to be on Cliff. People are going to torpedo each other. It's going to be good. I'm going to pretend I know what I'm talking about. That's right. I don't have to worry about incoming seekers or like thinking too much about like, do I have to turn off my radars? Do I have to like figure out exactly all the builds and go through this? Nope, it's just torpedo corvettes. Perfect. I'm hoping that like me crunching potato chips isn't coming through on the mic. It isn't? Okay. Well, that means that my like noise suppression and crunch filters and stuff are at least doing some of their job. So looks very funny though. Yes. Well, I got the Popcat emote for a good reason. You go crunch, 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 crunch. What channel are the rules in again? You're going to want to look for the Community Events tab. You'll be able to scroll up in that and find the Corvette Jousting thing there. You'll be able to see the link to the rules there. So, yeah. Just a list of bullet points and stuff, and that should be good. What is... Huh? There's 2 vessels. That's... Huh? That's weird. What? Vessel, you're not allowed to clone yourself. That's... Weird. Sus. Okay. That... Huh. That's a new one. Probably Nokek and Noek being trolls. You never know. I honestly don't know. Huh. Weird. No, they had like the same tags and everything there, so I have no idea. No, you're not playing. Yeah, well, you are, but where is Nokek in here? Because we have Nokek and Noek, who always have like similar sounding names, which throws me off. Completely don't see it. You cloned yourself. Yeah, how did you do that? That's concerning. Anyways, y'all have your games to play. Mute stream and stuff, just general rules and stuff we have for that. So, yeah. You're now Noek squared, and Nokek. This is gonna... Do I have to factor chat members? I don't want to have to remember how to do foil stuff. No, I left that behind in like 10th grade math class. Or was it 9th grade? 9th, 10th, something. Anyways. Alright, let's get this game on, Evignon. Woo! Alright, yeah. You all go to your teams and stuff. You got torpedoing to do. Blue team drops in high on the left side. Orange team staggering themselves all around. This is the Cliff, one of the maps of all time. It is a small little asteroid that you can fight over. Honestly, I thought to myself, it's like, oh, this would be a map that a lot of people would play starting out in the game and stuff. And then, everyone got introduced to pillars. It's like, never mind. Right. Yep. 4v4 standard. Gotcha. So, I'm going to be unhelpfully commentating most of this game and just saying, ooh, somebody got torpedoed as I crunch on chips. So, huh. That boys can have a little ketchup chip as a treat. Which is apparently a Canadian thing, ketchup chips. I don't know why it's like Canada only exclusive. I would imagine the Americans would go nuts for it, but huh. Ah, yes, crunch, 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 crunch. This must be a channel you have to be in the Discord at a certain time for. Can't see it, unfortunately. You should be able to see it at the top of the Discord server there. It'll say Corvette Jousting thing. Additionally, under the server tab, it'll be one of the announcement channels called Community Events. So you should be able to see that. Yeah, if you can't see it, then I'm not sure why. I could try and drop a link to it, I guess, in chat. See if that works. I have no idea if that's cool. Let's find out. Copy link. Yeah, here. Copy paste this link. We'll see if this works. Try and see if that goes or not. Ketchup chips low-key fire. Yeah, ketchup chips are good. It's really annoying because I'll eat too many of them at a time and then my mouth just turns into like the Sahara Desert, so... Might have to check now as well. Might have to. Anyways, let's take a look at this. There's going to be a long line of blue Corvettes deploying here, sort of a formation. There's different fire groups set up for the orange team in turn who are deploying a little bit, kind of more dispersed in this, like, what do I even call these? Like, just, I'd say wolf packs is probably the best fitting turn. Which team is wolf on? There they are. Yeah, so blue team is going to be not so lone wolf deploying with the large wolf pack here. You can see if they can't just swarm somebody. Blue, I'd get just rotate and sweep. I think so. I think they're going to try and maintain cohesion and bring a bunch of their torpedoes onto target. That said, you have to be careful about how many torpedoes you all expend against a target, committing a good chunk of fire is like a really good way of killing someone. But if everyone on your team fires a torpedo off at one track, then that's a hilarious overkill waste. So we'll see how things end up going. Lark River up here has got themselves Parallax with adaptive radar receiver. Interesting. I guess that does get you like a little bit of extra range for it, but I don't think you need that. They're able to maintain a lock onto multiple of these ships. We see Changeling over here has been locked in turn on the bottom of the map. Now, a vessel is detected down here. That's a jamming torpedo coming out already. All right, so Command with a boosted self-screening jammer on its way downrange. That's got quite a bit of range, but I don't know if that will work or not. It's keyed for 3.2, and that is probably going to get intercepted long before then. Yep, that's going to just run out of fuel. Ooh, okay, here we see the tech. Blast frag torpedo being fired off there to counter 1-1. Yes, there is no point defense allowed here. This is just jousting. All you have got is your humble Mace torpedo, 3.2 kilometer range, and that is the restriction of it. You get 300 points to spend, so decide how you're going to do it. See, orange team kind of staggered all about the board here. Blue team kind of keeping cohesion somewhat. A couple of them try to toe the line forwards. Other ones kind of hang it back a little ways here. Seeing some of these just are just a reinforced stack meant to kind of like joust and get forwards towards the enemy and the people as hard as they can. Other ones I think are going to be more of the locking style. Is it Potato-ish who has one? No. Where's the locking one? One of you's got to have a lock, right? Maybe not. Here we go. Yeah, okay, so up top we're going to see Polymorphous Neuroid comes in with the Parallax double plank control tech. So, cool to see some of that developing as we go. Cohesion starting to fall apart here from the blue team as they are still together, but they don't have the same kind of tight formation. Torpedo out here gonna probably fight. Oh, not so Lone Wolf gonna get booped in the snoot there. Changeling is gonna get the first blow for this game. Kind of funny how it's Lone Wolf's event and they're the first to get punched in the mouth. So take a look at that distance. That was just close enough they were able to get their shot and then dip. Honestly, that's part of the fun of trying to get within that distance and then quickly break off. You want to hit exactly at the 3.2 mark and then just dip out as much as you can. I'd say to be a little closer, more like 3.1 or so, because you have to remember the torpedoes have a little bit of curve time there. Mark Winter is advancing under the map, trying to go for a bit of a flank here. Top of the map, we're going to see who's that. Joyu and Polymorphous are going to be advancing over here. Internet Explorer with the Black Cat in the background. This is another one of those lock, right? Yeah, it's another one of the lock-on types there. So they're going to see what we end up getting done. Charge is supposed to mimic the ancient torpedoes from before the missile updates. They have set range and seeker. Yep, the humble Mace back in the day used to be the only torpedo we had. It was command guidance, 3.2 kilometers, and that was what everyone was afraid of because, well, torpedoes are scary. That's all I'm going to say. Torps are really nasty. Torpedo Corvettes were quite lethal back then and still are to this day, even though people have kind of moved away from running them for, I don't know, various kind of reasons. We'll see if those make a comeback depending on the flavor. Remember Mace Combat jokes? Yep, Mace Combat is one of the old jokes of Nebulous Fleet Command, play on the old Ace Combat style. Oh, these named after the size 3 hybrids. Okay, Torpedo Strike is going to come out here against Trojan Shadow, and I think that's going to land. Yep, that's going to be landing, although it does not get the crippling blow that they were hoping for. Instead, these torpedoes are probably going to find their way into, yes, Demisen. Well, they got their hit in. They did not get the shot they wanted. 2 torpedoes going to knock this thing down low. They should be... If they restore that if they restore this launcher, they are instantly going to die because they do not have a power source. So that's unfortunate for them. It could be a mobile radar, but that wouldn't actually do anything. Yeah, they're just kind of out of the game, unfortunately. Good torpedo strike there. 2 was enough to secure the kill, and then the third one is just kind of gravy on top. We saw Ceramic and this Dark Ranger up top here. These were both from the blue team trying it over top flank, are going to get cleaned up. More torps coming out here. Going to see one of these with a self-screening jammer here. These are looking like they're going to go fishing today. Meeson will probably get knocked here proper. Oh, no. Absorbs under the torpedo. Honestly, just staying alive has done them really well here. This is going to be a torp strike. Yep, there you go. They're free of Jousting. Lose the programming bus, rapid locker, and the torpedo launcher. Second one just barely out of fuel there as they drift out of range. This is recoverable, but still not something you exactly want to see. The torpedo launcher hitbox is also very, very large, as anyone who's ever used a Corvette can tell you. That is, like size 3 mount there is notorious for getting moved. You see that one run just barely out of fuel, and now on the approach, we're going to see a torpedo AMM trying its best there. Unfortunately, is not in position. It's going to be a swing and a miss. More torps coming out here as Billib is going to be moving themselves forward. The big sippy has been requested. All right, everyone take a drink of water. The mini Claymore is going to... Huh? What? Excuse me? Somehow managed to avoid taking any damage there. How the hell did you do that? That's interesting. Were those HE frag torpedoes? I think those must have been frag or something. They should have suffered some damage, right? Like, did it not get hit or something? No, it's been scratched visibly. That's really weird. Okay. Anyways, gonna see some Wake ARAD Seekers. The Wake Seeker is quite nasty against a ship like this when it presents its rear arc like we saw there. Someone tried Heckby Torps yet? Could that work? I think that they could. I don't believe we have a rule saying not to. Oop, okay, so the Wake ARAD is going to try and seduce on target, but not get close enough. Now we're going to see this thing taking a proper hit there. All right, around the board, we're seeing Orange Team kind of cleaning up more of Blue. Honestly, I thought Blue Team had an advantage to start off with, but at the initial kind of like separation, their formation, they're just kind of getting picked apart piecemeal. Orange Team is having a bit of a rough go with some of this stuff. Some of those torpedoes just going to swing and miss there. Other ones are kind of looking around here. Haven't seen any more big crippling hits. Maybe Orange Team actually is onto something with their kind of like separated battle groups, localized deployments. You can see now the mini Claymore from Philip. Oop, shot is going to miss their Command Seeker error. That second one, though, that is going to find the midsection doing a lot of damage here. More and more torpedoes trying against Philip, and they're just holding on here. All right, ARAD Torpedo going to be looking down this way for anything with a radar on. Might be finding this ship. Oh, going to run out of fuel just in time. Taking a look at the torpedo out here. That is going to be swing and a miss just barely. Is that a MCON? Hard to say exactly. Might just be a Wake Seeker being a little bit wonky sometimes. It does have a tendency to be a little unpredictable if you're firing towards the forward arc of a ship. Typically have to be in the rear arc for it to work. We have not seen a Heckby Torp yet. I believe that you can do that, but at the same time, against a light ship like this, there's really no need for Heckby. This thing just constantly getting smacked away out there. The Trader is suffering, so is the Mini Claymore. I think Orange Team might have this in the bag. I don't see Blue Team having too much more left in the banks. Torpedo is going to try and get a torpedo strike through. These Command Seekers, they seem pretty good just for going for like full lethality. That said, they're going to swing and a miss on this one, apparently. They just lost track somehow. Are they missing a radar panel? No, they only have a front line. That's why. All right. Parallax lock is pretty good. Personally, if I was going to run this, I think Parallax plus the like bank of 6 command torpedoes, just walk on a target, let rip with that, try and like toe the line and be evasive as you can. I feel like there's a little bit of skill and finesse yet to be found out with this as well. That was just my initial gut feeling of, hey, the Parallax is pretty good. Let me go for that. One of these might find its way home. Yep, there you go. Gonna strike mid and actually more of the forward section of the ship. Gonna red out the stack there. Still reinforced components will survive. Some other events, there's some people running minimum pen Heckby for some tech that didn't quite understand. Yeah, minimum pen Heckby can be a tech where if the Heckby doesn't like blow out through the ship, then it deposits all the damage into it. It's just finding like exactly enough armor pen to get through the armor, because Corvettes do actually have some armor. It's like 8 centimeters, so it's not a whole lot, but it's there. So you just have to figure out how much armor pen do you need versus like, do you want to like accidentally overdo it and then like go through them. So yeah. Don't know if it'd be worth the hassle. You have to fire certain distances and stuff. Yeah, I feel like the Heckby tech, somebody will try it, but I don't think that it's going to be one of those like surprise game-winning things. 1 centimeter pen Heckby, it works. I think that might be enough to get through Corvette armor or something. I know the size 1 Heckbys have been a tech when you get like a naked ships running onto neutral points before, so it's just a way of like popping the CIC or the reactor or something, but all right, Kazakhstan over here is going to team up with Changeling as they are pulling back. Do they have torpedoes? They still do. How about Kazakhstan? They have 6 of them as well. Wow, they are just loaded up. Yeah, I feel like this is the build. This was what I made in my testing phase. Just Parallax, plant control centers, canted launcher, torpedoes. Only the basic drive here. This does lack a damage control team, but it's one of the caveats you get for trade-offs. You could probably replace the mag with a damage control team if you can cough up the points. Depends what kind of torpedoes you want to get. Also, issue of cost. Yeah, you've only got 300 points, so you really have to decide what do you want to bring along with this. I could see somebody maybe investing into like expensive torpedoes with like Heckbys or something, and then the like they pair up with a wingman who's got like a Parallax or something. That could be kind of cool. All right, torpedo out here. Going to see 2 dumps, 3 dumps. Going to maybe be a panic dump here. Mr. Train will take a hit there, but still is able to get some of the torpedoes out in the water towards the drill crafter. They are missing the front section of their ship, but I think that those are going to find their way home. That is going to be a Dragonfly drive taking a smack there. This one's going to actually veer off to the side there, as that is a ARAD primer. It's going to go after a different target and run out of fuel instead. See over here, a torpedo land on the Daily Joke. This thing, ooh, that's a lot of damage. Torpedoes hurt, especially light compact ships like this. Oh, Jet. There's not much else to do right now, but sit back, relax, enjoy ourselves if we just watch more torpedoes going out here. I feel like the torpedo AMM is kind of an interesting idea, but at the same time, I don't think that it's really got much purpose considering the, like, you can trade 1-to-1, but, like, I think it's better to just get the Joust winning rather than trying to do a defensive torp. Maybe if you're, like, going for, like, a pair of them, like, you have one offensive, then fire one defensive along with it to counter the enemy salvo, that could be tech. I don't know. Let's see how it ends up developing. You're giving up offensive firepower, because, again, this is a game of 6 shooters where you've got 6 torpedo slots, and you need to decide what you want to do with them, so. Grab me quickly a chip. Lovely chips. All right, everyone's consolidating towards this side of the board right now. Orange team is kind of hanging out here in reserve. They still appear to have a good, healthy count of torpedoes. Frame perfect dodge is being called by some of them. Still, blue team has their own torps as well here. This thing has only got 4 torps, actually. Huh. That feels like a misplay, going for like all the reinforcements and stuff and only being able to bring 4 torpedoes because of it. People just kind of rolling around here. Where's this torpedo going? That's set towards Polymorphous Neuroid. We'll see if Poly is able to hit the brakes here and evade or not, or if they're just going to bow tank it. Smack into the top section here. That's going to take out the radar panels and the main thruster. Still damages a lot of the systems, but not anything like crippling knockout-wise. Torpedo going to swing and a miss just barely from the Sir Torp slot. See a command torpedo now deployed to see if this one has the ability to get on target. What is Sir Torp slot made of? This thing just narrowly evading 2 torpedoes there. Gonna see a AMM fired off here, trying to go on the intercept as the torpedo comes around for another go. It might. No, just short there. I think throwing some jammers on torpedo could be worth it if you fire a second. Potentially? Anyways, gonna see the sneaky, whatever you call that thing. It takes a hit there. Sir Torp slot. There is something with this ship. There's been 3 torpedoes launched on it that have all missed against it. I do not know what they are painting the ship with. This is lucky as hell. Will this one hit? That finally will land a shot. There you go. Takes out the reactor and the torpedo launcher. Still, evading that many shots there with 1 Corvette, that is very impressive. All right. Lark River Eagle is moving around here. They have no torpedoes left, but they are attempting to go after targets here. So we'll see if they get things. Just realized I'm not in streamer mode. I better turn that on. Remember to set Discord up for that. There we go. That way I don't get DM sounds. All right. I'm trying to call out tracks and stuff there. Yeah, good old all chat moments. Just like you put a track number and it's like, oh, what are you talking about? It's like, enemy battleship spotted. No, you didn't see me. I'm not here. All right. Gonna see a torpedo intercept. There we go. That's a AMM torpedo deployed at the right time. Gonna see another one of these things launch out. Will it get on target? Yes, it will. 2 deflections there from Potato Wish's Lamb. They have another AMM torpedo. Question is, how many more does Tachtan have? Tachtan has 3 torpedoes, so that will mean that they win. Well, they're also gonna have to play guesswork though. It's like, how many of your torpedoes do you want to give up, like offensive-wise, to mount a defensive? We're gonna see another one of these things deployed. There's another AMM torp. Oh, that's not going to be enough, as unfortunately that thing is going to take a gut shot to the TLS, or not TLS, the CLS, and swing and a miss on that one. Gonna try and come around for another go. I think some of these torpedoes might just have low maneuverability, and that's costing them a little bit here. Seeing them trying to lead their target. This command seeker should go straight home. Yep, there you go. The Daily Joke has been knocked out proper. 2 torpedoes for good measure. And going to be a magazine detonation. Haven't seen any reactor blooms yet, which is kind of surprising, but also kind of not. Depends on like where you end up getting hit, I suppose. That's trying to run. We're gonna say to that for right now. Best response to enemy battleship spotted is which one? Yeah, there you go. Just play the mind games. It's like seeing people take like Corvettes disguised as battleships. And it's like, oh yeah, that's totally a real battleship, guys. And you just watch a whole bunch of plasma rounds impact it. It's like, that's not a battleship. All right, that's gonna be a Joust successful here. The Bum Ratty is knocked out by the Game Over Man from Changeling. This thing was able to get its torpedo onto target before the return salvo struck, so that means it gets away scot-free. The Changeling was like, that was close, just as they were able to strike out. Or no, actually, hang on a second. It was the Mini Claymore, right? Yeah, that thing should have still been able to hit target. I think they just had a track error then. I thought they had sniped DCIC or something. All right. Both teams are kind of hanging on here. Orange team has a complement of munitions of some sort still left in the banks and needs to decide how they want to use them. Blue team kind of looking like they might be running out of gas. Polymorphous Neuroid still has 2 torpedoes. Small Goodman has got 2 torpedoes. Right? Taking a look here. Yeah, they have 2 torpedoes in the bank. Andy Star has 1 torpedo left over here. Not a lot of chance to roll for crits. Yeah, you can get like the shotgun damage effect because again, like the damage rays of a torpedo, they are divided into instances of 50. So you can get quite a few dice rolls for that on the like engine torpedo area. It's called the drive. That's the thing I was trying to think of. So you can get some crits going off there, but haven't seen any of those yet. Would be very interesting if we get a drive crit and that kills off a lot of people's stuff. They're really trying for this, but I think that they just, yeah, they've got to just be neglecting like their maneuverability. That felt like that was going to be a perfect bang-on hit. Also, yeah, it could be that they're just getting less crits because they've been killed off in as, like, yeah, as few as like 1, maybe 2 hits and stuff. See if this one will land or not. CMD ARAD locking onto target. Nope. Swing and a miss. This thing is locked onto, so I guess that's just the innate inaccuracy of the CMD Seeker. Sometimes you can end up missing. Has VLS instead of allowed CLS. That is a rule break. Yep, so we're just going to correct people on that. Remember, you're allowed only 3 types of Seekers, Command, ARAD, and Wake, and you want a cantered launcher, not the vertical. So this is the cantered launcher. It's on an angle there. It makes it so if you want to drive tank somebody, it's a little bit riskier because you might run out of fuel sooner. Want to try and joust people and then break off and evade. So it's going to be crunch and crunch there onto the traitor, which I think is out of restore. Yeah, that thing is going to be dead, done, and dusted. All right, a better call. It says better call small torpedo headed towards the game over man. It's going to apparently just ignore it somehow. CMD accuracy. All right, I'm going to munch more chips. Meh, 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 meh. Didn't know a rule about CLS, but it makes sense. Yep, so the CLS rule that is included in the rules section, so please refresh yourselves on that before participating in an event and all that. Packing chips. No, microchips. I'm eating circuit boards right now, don't you know, with those little, like, 5x5 timer chips. Know my location? Of course you do. It came with my grid coordinates. Alright. I don't know if Orange Team has many torpedoes left. They got 1, they got 3 there. That's just... Wait, what? How do you have... Oh? Ah, in the magazine. That's how you did it. Alright. I was like, how do you have chaff and flares? That's not right. A couple people have sand shot. I think that Orange Team just loses out on it. I don't think they have enough torpedoes left here. Because taking a look at it, I think Small Goodman has a torpedo. Polymorphous Neuroid has a torpedo. Maybe they do, actually. Hang on. Okay, so there's 3 torpedoes on blue team side here. They might still have it. We're going to find out. Interesting. Gonna play with carriers tonight? Nope, we're just doing the event for today. I might mess around with some stuff off stream because I still have to modernize all of my fleets and catch up after the latest patch and stuff. Got some price changes, but yeah. Gonna get chips too? Excellent. Everyone get chips. Yeah, if you're knocked out, this is just an excuse to go eat potato chips and watch this. My fault? No! Salted chips are best? I think most chips are salted. I don't honestly know if like there's many brands that don't have like salted potato chips. I mean, I guess you could have like plain ones, but even the plain ones, I think they have some salt on them. So, oh, there's a torpedo. Finally, going to see the Black Dead here taking a hit. It's really going to come down to like who has offensive armament and who holds on to their last torpedo. Then see this one heading out here towards Polymorphous Neuroid. All right. Calling out to Hash and Cake, they're running VLS instead of CLS, so yeah, just need to make sure you correct that for your builds next time around. Yep. There we go. Got the callouts and stuff there. Okay, what do we make a pun here about VLS? What do we say VLS stands for? They're a very lucky system. Perfect. Very spicy lunch. Very spicy language. There you go. Yep. Very lousy shot. Very Small Goodman running for the hills here. I think they are one of the few torpedoes left. Luck River Eagle is in pursuit, but they don't have a torp in the banks. Is that the only one here? Gotta chirp them a little bit, saying, "Get back there and fight, you coward!" Trying to run away and evade now for the moment. I think it's just a game of like trying to guess who still has torpedoes here. Embrace Sir Robin ran away. All right, so bit of an interesting moment here as let's see, Andy Star has torpedoes. That's gonna be a torp launch there. I think that was Small Goodman's final one, right? Yeah, that's the last one from Small Goodman. So I think that it is just come down to Andy Star then, who is keeping them in the game. Interesting. New update happened while you're at work week. Yeah. Yep. There's a new update out. There's the modular. We joked about it being called the MCU Modular Craft Update. I think it's just called Modular Craft or something like that. So yeah, new update dropped last Thursday it was, so you can go ahead and play on Live Branch now. We are on Live Branch right now messing around with Corvettes because Corvettes are fun and yeah, just generally having a good time. All right, do total torpedo count here. I think that let's see. Blue team, I only had seen the one there. I think, right? Yeah, that'd just be Andy Star. 1, be 3. There we are. All right, find it out, folks. Also check any fleets with monitors, liners, marauders. Hulls got more expensive, so you need to adjust them a little. Yes, there was price changes to, I believe it was monitors and liners got a price bump, but in turn the DC complex got a price reduction, so kind of balances out there. Tugs, they got 25 points more expensive, just flat, if I recall correctly. So take a look for that. But join, unfortunately, couldn't. Hope we're getting some Galleon daring feeds done. Yeah, we're having some interesting times. Actually, fireable. Yes, should be. I think, anyways. Let's just double check. Okay, make sure of that. Yeah, this should have enough power here, I think. I'll just list that off there. And that will be them in turn. So they are the armed torpedo vessel, and they should be able to fire off. So I think they still have enough power for this, right? I want to say that's true. All right. Yeah, that's the target in question. Will be one of them, and then who is it? Then okay, shoot him, but that does not kill him. Project Wingman references. He's out in front. It's not quite Ace Combat, but it's close enough. All right, I think that's the only people with torpedoes and stuff there. So, Andy Star has been lock acquired. Come on, you know who you are. You are armed. Figure it out. Ooh, that's important. Hang on a second. You are immobilized. That's kind of a deal. Why having a damage control team can matter. technically they could push the Corvette into like a range where it would be really hard to do, but you could technically like bumper cars them. I think that's what they might be trying to do right now. All right. We'll see who ends up getting this one at last. I'm going to continue eating chips. There we go. Just Andy Star is trying to run for the hills apparently. See what they end up doing here. All right. Some of y'all gotta have torpedoes, right? Who has you're empty. I can just check by the icon down here, can't I? Yes, I can. All right, that will be, yeah, because that will be them being combat ineffective once they fire all that torpedoes. So yeah, that will then be us awarding team to the victory there. Because otherwise, that's just the only thing that's keeping them actually in the game. So yep, GG has been called. We'll award them the victory then. I do the technicalities of that. All right, team. Kindly punch out. There we are. Let's ask Mr. Train and Andy Star to eject themselves here, and then that should be good. Yeah, hit the evac or surrender button in that. All right, there we go. Yep, as confirmed, Andy Star does surrender there, and that will be it decided. GG. All right. I got to see some torpedoing action there. Ooh, Changeling pulling a nice 8K. All right, good stuff. Some torpedo hits in there. Ooh, what's that? Thrazzle with 8.2. Nice stuff there. Blue team in turn. All right. Any big damage numbers jumping out at us? Ooh, 8. All right. Polymorphous Neuroid coming in with 8.7, almost 8.8. That is some good damage. All right. Readying up. We're going to run ad break intermission for 3 minutes here. There we go. All right. So, folks, we'll be right back. Meow, meow. Gonna hang around while I run the ad break thing, but yeah. Intermission time. I don't even need to go anywhere. I could just munch my snacks here. I'm probably going to make a mistake and eat this entire bag this afternoon.
All right. How was that match for you, Neko?
Yeah. Interesting as people find out more of the text. Like, we saw Blue Team deploy, like, a very, like, tense, kind of, like, tight formation there. And then kind of spread out a little bit and staggered and ended up costing them a bit. Versus, like, Orange kind of came with battle groups sort of pre-planned.
I like the map being a little larger. I had a nice engagement over on the right flank there, just like three corps versus 3 corps, and then they took some losses and retreated back and we pursued and joined the main battle. It was neat.
I hate to say that like you were like the first one who got sucker punched in your own event, man, but like, well,
I mean, I got some kills.
Yeah.
I one tapped someone on the right flank, and I also got 2 more hits when I charged into the center. Yeah, maybe not the smartest play for me, but I think I still did
as long
my
as you deal more damage than you end up costing, right?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I still died with, what, 2 or 3 torps left in my tube, so probably not the greatest.
Yeah.
Honestly, I shouldn't have charged there, but eh.
People were discussing a little bit about the text, like, is Hekby Torpedo worth trying out? And it was like, okay, does that seem more effective than the regular, like HE
I think
torpedo?
the only case where you would ever want Hekby Torp is the, like to deal with a drive tanker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, that's the only thing, the reinforced drive is the only thing on a Corvette that doesn't die to HE impact.
Yep.
Everything else dies to HE impact no matter, like, because it all just doesn't have
Damage
the DT.
race, yeah.
Yeah. So, there's not, and that's the only niche for Hekby, really, because HE impact is better in all other ways.
It's also the debate of AMM torpedoes as well, thinking like you
we
get
saw
one
in
on the
that
charge.
match,
Yeah.
Potato-ish, that was incredible, getting two AMM hits, clean kills in a row. That was great. All right, shall we get into the next game?
Yep.
So everyone is going to join spectator.
Get a total player count number this way easily enough. All right, you heathens, get out of the fleet editor. Get in spectator.
Got a couple more people.
Yep.
Join spectator. Okay, so we have 28 people, so theoretically it'll be even.
That's counting me as spectator, though.
I know, but me too, so it'll be fine.
I see what you mean. Gotcha.
Kajitan, if you're still here and if you would still like to play, then you should join spectator.
Well, we can balance out either way. If we have an extra odd one, then it depends whether you play or you want to cast and watch this with me. So I've been shamelessly eating potato chips this entire time. And will continue to do so.
Okay, alright. Where's Jeffrey? Is Jeffrey in here? Join spectator. Okay, good. Alright, everyone who, if you did not play in the last match, please pick a team, join a team, any team. Okay, if you did play, alright, now everyone else, hop into a team. Pick a team, any team.
Alright, we got teams mostly balanced. That's 14 on 14. Looks good to me.
Potato-ish. Okay,
15?
14. 14 on 14. Kiba is
another,
in spectator, but...
Well, the times I wish that Neb didn't have quite so much of a scroll bar, but...
These teams look roughly... actually,
I don't know, these look pretty even.
Can I get Changeling to swap out with Mr. Train? Thank you.
Yeah.
Also to reiterate to everyone, the rules, you can only have a CLS3 in your Torp belly. You cannot have a VLS3. This doesn't matter in a lot of scenarios, but it does matter in some. So I would like everyone to please have a CLS3 only. If you have a VLS or a TLS, please swap that out for a CLS, please. Thank you. Also, your torpedoes cannot exceed 3,200 meters of max range. That is a real rule break. If your torpedoes have larger max range than that is serious no-no.
We covered Seekers before. You're only allowed Command, ARAD, and Wake, and there is a 300-point limit on this, so if your ships are over, then please correct that. Looking at one of you right now.
Yep, looking at Mr. Train, you have 1 point. You are 1 point over. Sorry to be a stickler about this, but we do want to keep to the rules because everyone else is keeping to the rules. What if you bring Therm? That's a good question, Noek. I would be interested to have whatever you're smoking if you think Alliance can have Therm.
Yeah, I was about to say it shouldn't be an issue because they can't do that. So, okay.
All right. Yeah, you're hacking. You get a full MP ban. All right. Okay, everyone, we seem to be good. All right. You know the drill. Team 1 to bread. Team 2 to bullseye. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, speaking of bans, Lone Wolf, can you just ban me from the game for a week so I can take a vacation?
I'll take it up with Avil. Sure. Is this?
Perfect.
Let's see. Submit request, ban reason, meows too loudly. So yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Meows too loudly, ran test branch, ban reason requested, by NekoboyBlue to ban NekoboyBlue. Please don't make me do fleet reviews. Speaking of fleet reviews and fleets and stuff there, Lone Wolf, how have you been liking the newest patch? I've been messing around and getting some of my fleets modernized and enjoying messing around with some of the new fightercraft module stuff.
I haven't had much time to play this last week, but I do want to get some games in today. Actually later.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy at the fuel changes. Those are pretty good.
Fuel
People complain,
changes,
but I think they're
updates.
very healthy.
Hmm.
The what am I saying? Also the change in point cost of the OSP ships.
Hmm.
Very happy we got that done. I think
Yeah.
that makes the game a lot healthier.
People
And
had
just
a
more
couple like
more
pain points, yeah.
less cringe and skeletal and more
Mhm.
interesting builds. So I'm pretty happy about that. The craft modules, I don't know. I have a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth because during all the final week or two of PTB, everyone was like, "Oh well, high coherency. Oh well, it's kind of good. It's pretty good, but like there'll be a nice back and forth meta with it, with bringing SDMs and not bringing SDMs." And people were like, "Oh well, it's less useful on fighters, more on bombers."
Mm.
And then as soon as the patch releases, everyone's like, "This is so over fucking powered. How did you let this get to live?" And I'm just like,
Yeah,
well,
it's like
but
the branch was there. We
bruh,
streamed it. It's like, we're here.
So yeah, I mean, and I don't entirely disagree. I feel like, maybe
Yep.
it should go up in a few points, but I'm just a little fucking annoyed that this didn't come up earlier.
It's gonna be the case again where
Whatever.
it's like we run all these tests and stuff, and we have the thought, and then you hit
Yeah.
live. Somebody has not updated their fleet. They fire a whole bunch of missiles at craft. The craft suddenly are able to actually deflect them. They're like, "This is bullshit. My thing is broken. Why did you nerf my thing?" As is tradition.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a small thing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
You can't get everything.
Yeah. It's a lot of it going to come down to just I don't want to change my fleets, so I know I have some of that bias. Go through and change anything that has a damn tug in it. Yeah. Craft modules make the complex part of the game even more complex. That is another thing that people have pointed out, where craft were already like one of those things that is, much like the missile editor, a bit of a challenge to kind of get into, so. But hey, such as the state of new thing. Let's watch some torpedoes hit each other, eh?
Hell yeah. On a modded map, no less. A modded 2v2 map. I have not seen this one before.
It's so like the big shelf on Yukon, right? Like the big vertical iceberg.
Yeah.
Think kind of like that, with a couple points scattered around. You'll understand.
Well,
when you see
it is a call map, so I trust it'll be good.
Yep.
Not, as the saying goes, not all good maps are call maps, but all call maps are good maps.
I'm trying to remember who makes what maps these days. I'll be honest, I struggle a lot with that.
Subtle Hubris and Puppy from Hell make some maps as well now, and those
Getting
are
some
usually
stuff
good.
there. Yep. Trying to remember. Paul, Subtle, Puppy. There's Banana for a while in there. I don't know if Banana's still making anything or not, but there's a couple other map makers. What was it? Just recently, this map Barbie House, I think, that came out that I've been meaning to try.
No, that's been there for several years. Apple
Has
had
it?
it commissioned for a fight night.
Shit,
In the wake of the release of the Barbie movie, he commissioned the map to be made for a fight night.
How have I never played on this thing yet? What? It's incredible. Apparently, I've just been completely sleeping on this.
All right, are you still in loading? by the way?
Yeah, I'm still stuck in loading. Wondering about that.
We may have a bit of a crash out here.
Crashing out live on stream. Yeah. Well, I mean, considering the number of players we have and the fact that we only just now get issues, not bad.
Yeah, it's held together pretty well so far. All right, yeah, I don't think this is going anywhere.
No.
Hold on, I'm gonna go down and ask the teams.
Hayatan in my chat just asked, "Help me, Step Neb. I'm stuck." Well, you ban them.
Shut the fuck up. They're in your chat. You are the one with ban authority here.
Oh, that's true.
Make it happen.
Just full yoink them, throw them.
All right, be right back.
Yeah, we're probably just gonna have to exit out here. Whoops. And well, chat, I was right about one thing. I have unfortunately run out of chips. Song the people requested. Very well. What's the song of the people? I'm a cat boy. I'm yeah for tuna cans. What do you do about it? Alright, looks like everyone is heading back. So yeah, most likely server just crashed there. Happens occasionally, or we get like some other like hitching things to spawning fleet stuck. So yeah. I
All
think,
right, everyone's alt F4ing. Let's alt F4.
Yep, let's just get out of here. Alright, load it back up. Never happened. Don't worry about it. Honestly, though, like, again, how many players we have on a server, the fact we didn't have issues until now about that, we haven't had any drops or disconnects or stuff. No, I know that Vastal is not here, but I will in turn steal their phrase. Remember to drink water, everyone.
Wait, what? Game update? People
Huh?
saying game update. The fuck?
What? Huh?
There's nothing in changelog, and I haven't heard anything about another hotfix. Workshop?
Verify files?
I don't know about that.
Weird.
You just restart your games. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's just a regular
Exit
server
out
crash.
and double check on that. That's interesting. Downloads complete.
Yeah, I've let Darg know what happened to the server. He may need to reset it. I'm not sure.
It might have just been downloading certain maps there that it had to like update for. That could be it. Like you subscribe to it and loads in game, that loads like when you launch it next, right? Well, minor technical difficulties everyone, so give it a second, then we'll hopefully get server back up and everything going. I don't think anyone's still on it, right?
There may have been one or two people who weren't in voice chat who are stuck.
I'll find out.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they quit. No, it's back up. I see it.
Excellent.
Fight Night Easy, Kide Moon. Password is lowercase joust.
There we go. Let's get back into the server proper and get everything go. Oop, that's the wrong menu. There we go. All right. They're accusing me of clogging up the server with all the tuna cans. I will apologize for nothing. Tuna deserve to be in a can, thank you. Yeah, probably just workshop is my best bet on that. He was patching something. I didn't see like a version code difference, but I also didn't really check, so.
All right, everyone can just join teams directly now. And we'll rebalance and get it all rolling.
Yeah, shuffle as needed. I'm just gonna say it now. I think honestly the midshipments might have better luck than some of the like experienced gold players will, because they will just like full YOLO joust somebody. Pebbles. Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna try a different map this time. All right. Everyone's gonna get back in here.
Looking at 14 on 11 currently.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly.
Nah. We're bad at math, but we're not that bad.
12 on 13. Kiba, you can join team 2. Is Kiba in here?
Yep. Looks like they just
never mind. Never mind.
Or somebody
Train is here. Okay.
15 to 13 looks good.
Take a look at these teams. Seems fine, I think. Maybe let's see.
Maybe they're like one silver.
Can I have potato-ish swap with CJ, please?
Yeah, Vault Service to have the auto balance thing enabled on. This would be like the time for it, right?
Yeah, maybe I should have requested that from Dark.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh, potato-ish is downline mods.
Understandable.
All right, this looks good. we can go to teams, and we'll pray for luck, everyone.
Yep.
Best of luck.
Team 1 to
Team
bread,
one,
team 2
team one to
bullseye.
bread.
Yeah.
Team 2 to bullseye.
Aha, I stole your words right out of your mouth.
Yeah, you're 2 steps ahead of me. Yeah. All right. I'm glad I get to spectate at least one time. I got an apple here. I need to finish eating.
Oh, you got an apple. All right. Mr. Healthy over here. Me munching down an entire pack of ketchup.
Well, more or less just
now.
like something I can just grab out of the fridge and just munch on while I'm here, right? That can't make like a whole like quality breakfast while I'm potentially playing and casting.
Quality breakfast? No, I'm just
know?
saying that I ate an entire bag of ketchup chips and now I feel fat.
What the fuck? Okay.
Wait, have you never had ketchup chips?
I mean, I have. I don't like them. But I mean, the more pressing question is, why are you having that for breakfast?
It's not breakfast for me. It's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, okay. East Coaster, I guess. Damn.
Ooh, look at Mr. Actually, are you like West, Central? I don't know. I need to update my slander.
I'm Pacific Coast.
Ooh, look at Mr. Pacific over here.
I am West Coast, Best Coast. You know? East Coast, Least Coast.
Well, I'm Canadian, so I'm not exactly coastal, but close enough.
I am too, you know? This is inter-Canadian slander here.
Yep.
No one even brought the Americans into it.
No. How does it feel paying $3,000 for rent over there?
It's painful. It's painful.
Alright, so it's a known fact that there is only actually 3 Canadians, and it's just like me, Lone Wolf, and Bren, and we just pretend that everyone else in Canada exists. We have to change hats all the time. True secrets. Alright. The Not So Lone Wolf brunch, according to my chat, then. There you go.
I roll out of bed, I grab my apple, I log on, I hit the ping, I'm like, let's go for fight night, everyone.
Let's go for fight night. Just like bleary-eyed, pouring coffee, just like complete mess. It's like, oh, why do I do this to myself, right? All right,
Okay.
I think we got...
Jeffrey, by the way, you can head to Team Bread. That's where your team is.
No, never mind. We got spectator balance. Okay, 14 on 14 still. Fluctuating there. All right, so here's my thought, right? What if we took these rules here, right? All these players with the Torpedo Corvettes, and we just put them against Dragon. That's fair, right?
Like a standard Dragon 12k, or like Dragon with 12k of Corvette?
Dragon 12k Corvettes, obviously. I don't see anything going wrong with that.
How many ships would that be? That is...
Well, it's one per
got
player,
14
right?
people,
So...
like, well, you know, there's like infinite amount of play we can do, but like, so like Dragon's controlling 15. Like, I've seen him fight with like the no ship limits mod, fighting with like 12 ships that are a lot more complicated than these ships, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
I
was just
feel
thinking
like
we
that's
put
totally
like
doable.
28 players against them and see how that works out.
I think they'd probably have a decent advantage. I mean, because
honestly,
you know,
yeah.
things are just like, it's a lot more fast paced than regular Neb, right? Like, you gotta have quick reactions. It's hard to do when you're jumping between different parts of the map.
True.
Oh, also, I should probably stream here. Sorry, y'all.
That's a good idea.
Just in case you're not on Neko's stream.
Let's see. Orange team is locked in, readied up. Blue team is all but ready, just waiting on Dark Ranger, I think.
Dark Ranger will be hearing the deafening alarm in their ears with like 30 people readied up.
Actually, that's a good question. I know Neb has a soundboard. Do we have the ready up ping on the soundboard?
No, because that would be fucking evil.
Tell me it's not a good idea.
The soundboard sucks. It's a terrible Discord feature.
I think it's an exceptional one. I'm just not allowed to use it around here. I have given people PTSD because there's the new track sound on the Neb Discord like official soundboard. So I will just enter a channel and have that be my like entry noise.
That's okay. That's a pretty good bit.
Yeah. I've had so many people like they physically jump at it. They're like, "Ugh, where missile? Where missile?"
Spike her! Spike her! Spike
Yep.
her!
Just beep, 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 beep. All right.
Woo, we made it in.
This is a interesting little map. All right. Blue team deploys from what's that? The 90-degree mark, and then orange from the 270. So, all right. Not exactly a large map, but then again, I mean, what do you expect, right?
It's got a lot more terrain, I feel like, in it than Cliff, right?
Yeah.
Like by volume, Cliff is a bit larger than this, I think. But it's like
mostly empty space or just one big
rock. Yeah, it's just one big rock, but here's a lot more. I'm interested to see how this will work. It might not work very well, but we'll see.
People asking about the Discord soundboard. You need to be in a channel and have it enabled, and then it's like the bottom left of your screen should be next to like the like turning on camera, sharing screen. I believe that's where the soundboard pops up. I think. I know it's down there, and like you can click on that and get access to it. And like your servers, you can upload sounds to. And if you have the Nitro Premium stuff, I think you can use other server soundboards wherever you want. So. Right. So far, looking like blue team deploying kind of battle groupings going on here. We got top of the map, got right side, and then a couple of them on the bottom. And then orange team in turn looks like they got a big cluster with a couple outliers. I think one of the big things is
looks like
cohesion, right? Like you want to have good cohesion so you can like protect some of your allied vessels, and they're not sure which one's going to be quite in range to torp you. But then like if you have a single target to pick out, you just focus it down.
I mean, it's a bit rough because you need to like generate a local overmatch, right? You need like superiority at the point of contact, but you also kind of want to cover your sides so that someone doesn't just pop around a rock and like unexpectedly ambush you. So there's pressures to both stay together and spread out. But I think the key is you need like when you're spreading out, you want like at least 2 or 3 corvs in a group to go together.
I think a big part of this too is going to be like how you do your engage angles, because like you want to approach, get to torpedo launch range, and then basically be perfectly decelerated and then break off. So the choice of the guy you torpedo, do they then run back? Are they going to run forwards? Are they going to like go laterally to you and like try and outrun it? The whole like kind of tech wizardry to it. But they're asking what if I like the name of the ship. I'm not going to look at it because I'm not going to play favorites. So there. I've got stream rules. Don't badger me for attention. I'm not fucking looking at it now. Yeah, in terms of this, blue team going on here. They got themselves 2 good battle groups and like an outlier there from Microsoft Edgelord on the far left of them. Orange team in turn, a whole bunch of them behind one central rock, and then just kind of scatterings around the board, I guess, just for sensor coverage. Honestly, don't need that. Take a look at this. It's kind of nice just to turn off the HUD and take a look as the little trails kind of like snake out here at first. Yeah, looking like blue team.
Oh, interesting. Orange team is being very passive behind that rock. They're just sending out a few scouts while blue team's advancing in groups.
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Like blue team looks like they want to control top of the map. They got their whole detachment of like 6 or 7 Corvettes going there. Versus orange, I think, are just playing the deployment spawn camp kind of game here, where they're trying to tug up against the rock as best they can. I see people already like trying to present their like bellies facing outwards, being completely attached to the rock there. That's interesting. Have a sprint mine-esque thing. I think this might be the first time we've seen like some strategies kind of getting employed as teams here. Like we're seeing the kind of like full diversification of like, okay, this is going to be like one of our scouting vessels. These are going to be like our like reserve force ready to attack. I think if blue's smart, they'll be able to go wide and just kind of like figure this out, but same time, without knowing this is coming, they might just wander into it.
Oh, we got some blue team on burn pings. Orange team is as of yet unspotted.
Yeah, quite a few of these Corvettes are just running the basic front line there, which, while it's not bad, does have a little track quality error, and the command seeker also has some error to it. So Really helps having that parallax radar blockers you see sometimes. I'm wondering if there's any
On
fire
my
detonators.
on the example core, sorry, I kind of interrupted.
Oh yeah, go
On the
for it.
example core I put out, it has a front line and a track correlator,
Hmm.
which I thought was decent enough while not being totally power hungry.
Yep, it's a good way of just allowing you to like put your budget into your torpedoes or damage control if you so desire. Same time, having one of those parallax locks just to hang back a little bit and provide lock for your team can be really handy. Haven't seen too much tech for like jamming torpedoes to counter out stuff like that yet. All right, so far,
Orange team is getting crafty. They're just sneaking on the rock. Like
yeah,
they're like playing, like they're basically mines right now. They're just
I
being
told you it's a
mines.
sprint mine deployment. It's a sprinter mine. Okay, yeah.
Here we see the sprinter mines in their natural habitat.
They present their belly outwards to feed with their torpedo tendrils. Alright. Fun getting a look around. Alright. Orange team, I'm liking the way they're doing this kind of picketing style, just having some of their scouts around detect when blue is going to be approaching. Blue team, in turn, getting detected top of the map. The Noack vessel has been locked onto here. Lark River Eagle, in turn from Orange, has been locked and is retreating now. That's the pro move, I think it's called there, so. Alright. Yeah, I think blue team, like, they advance forwards, and now they're kind of hesitating, not having seen orange. They probably assume they're up to something. We see them kind of, like, forming these groupings now on the one rock.
They have vision now of the other side of the big rock, so now there's kind of really only one place that orange can be. I mean, because blue has sensor of, I guess, everything else except for the very bottom of the map.
They could think that they're doing an underside flank in turn, but...
Yeah.
Part of this that makes me wonder is, because you know how, like, when you click on your ship, you can sometimes see visual track through rock or, like, local track area, right? It's me thinking, like, if they're just going, like, for local track and moving forwards, will they end up spotting them through it or not before it's too late? Or would they walk around the corner right into that, like, 2-kilometer death zone?
No, I think, well, that's the thing. I mean, I feel like orange needed to have some Corvettes up here to stop that from happening, because I feel like the ISMP bum ratty here is just going to move over the top and spot the entire trap, right?
Yep.
Without coming into range of it.
It has been detected. It's on approach. I'm going to just watch as basically this thing is about to get angle here, and then I think the jig is up, right? Should be in a second or so now, depending on the colliders. Yep, there we go. One of them, two of them, get a spot immediately on the backside of this rock.
The trap is now...
Yep, they're going to just see all of these pings in a second here as they loop around the corner. Yeah, Joyu with the bum ratty doing a good move there where they just spot that. Guys, quick launch the hybrid to call. Yeah, so they're going to just see like probably 5 or 6. How many Corvettes is back here actually? Like 6 or 7 of them just latched onto that rock. So now we see blue team starting to stagger their advance and plan like how do we approach this. I gotta say, compared to like the rapid intensity of just like jousting with the rocket shuttle knight, this is a lot more interesting as we see more bits of this just kind of like going into technical stage, I guess. Let's say like kind of plan and coordinating how they're gonna do their missile strike.
Yeah, the Corvette jousting has always been kind of like, oh, we have torpedo out.
Speaking of, yeah, first torp out.
Yeah, they've always been a bit more, like, they really get into the depths of Neb because you just focus on one ship that's so small. You have to use all of the smallest tools at your disposal. Your heading, your roll.
Gonna go through there, but I think that's...
Boom, 2 hits in return onto the ends of invention.
First hit did damage. Second one didn't really look like it did. Orange team tried to intercept there by the looks of it, and no dice. Both players blooding each other's command section, so that's gonna put them
that's
up
a trade, but I think, I think Surzal's gonna be finished off, right? While the ends of invention will probably be able to repair.
There likely will. Attempted a jamming torpedo, but didn't see anything go through. Okay, we're gonna see a...
Yeah, the Ends of Invention actually getting the better of that exchange. They can repair up without even using a restore. And they got hit by 2 torps, while Zal got only hit by 1, but will just immediately die.
Yeah. Alright. Still technically alive. CIC managed to soak another hit there, but...
And this is the power of concentration of force, right? The
Yep.
Ends of Invention lives because it's with its team that can cover it. And the
They've
Surazal
recovered.
poked out alone, and it's going to die now because it doesn't have a team to cover it while it repairs.
Shows a bit of the tech there as well, paying that premium to get that reinforced locker. It might be expensive, but it will survive a torpedo hit at least once, so... The small locker of the Zal there, which just got smoked instantly, and, well, you don't get a chance to restore. It's really big losing your torpedo complement, right? Because it's such a massive hitbox on that sprinter. Orange team kind of reversing it now as the... Like, after that initial pickoff they got there, now they're just going to advance forwards. Their cohesion's maybe a little staggered, but I think they can manage that. Changeling electing to turn their torpedo corvette around now, just kind of pointing aft towards enemy. Probably going to try and go for like a torpedo strike, then floor it back towards their team. They might eat a torp for their trouble. CMD Wake on target.
Oh, gonna see Changeling drive tanking this.
No, just it doesn't do damage. That's the second time we've seen that happen.
Okay, well that one happened.
Yeah, there's
and
a
wait,
weird.
This isn't even.
There's a weird hitbox
Okay.
where like it hits somewhere and doesn't do damage. I've seen
both
that
the reactor overload and a cell cook-off here. That's
gonna be trouble. Sergeant Shadow gets a strike and then pulls back. Bilib with the mini claymore as well, thinking about it. I was gonna check their advance a little bit. Yeah, no damage. Weird. Yeah, I guess it's just like a certain spot in the Corvette's hitbox. Where was it? I'm Changeling. Like one of the wings or something?
It was like to the left of the drive.
Yeah, like
basically.
that little section there. I guess maybe just it all blew out the ship and doesn't like have anything to hit.
Another exchange coming out. Command versus ARAD Wake.
ARAD, going to find...
ARAD connects
Yeah.
onto Gear Blasta.
Blast gonna take one. In turn, that
But it's a
command torpedo, I
glancing
think,
hit.
ran out.
It's a glancing hit. It doesn't actually do anything there.
Just takes out the main thruster, as is tradition. Alright. Okay, you can see one of these lance torpedoes heading towards Ceramic. I think they're gonna get smoked here on the approach. Yep, eats it in the front section, loses their small restore locker. And their radar, too. Alright, blue
They're
team
saying
is
the fuzzy
firing and
means his
pulling back
missiles
here.
out of range.
So, in some ways,
Okay, I'll keep an
firing
eye
and
on
retreating is advantageous here, as they're able to evade the incoming fire while also drop missiles behind them and have a roll-off nature. Ooh, actually, blue team pulling orange team's trick here, as the Nightfall from Dark Ranger is going to fire off one of its torpedoes after doing a surface craft
Oh,
trick.
nice.
They're going to eat a torpedo in a mutual exchange there. Both sides going to defang each other as they lose their CLS. All right, the scaly one is going to take another hit there. Still is alive, but does not have torpedo ability anymore. Blue team actually kind of boxing in orange here as a couple of their corvettes starting to come in from the flanks here and look for pickoffs.
Yeah, I think orange just has superiority here because too much of blue team's on the other side of the map, and orange
Mhm.
has effectively rotated their whole entire team to attack blue team's flanks.
As long as blue is able to pull back, though, I think orange might be suffering a bit here from multi-attack vectors. You see the flint and steel, or Stell, gets smoked by a torpedo, losing its complement. Still has the ability to restore, though. More torps trying it. Downside to ARAD Seeker is when somebody turns out their radar, it will target another ship nearby. Can be a plus side, but like if you like have somebody who's closest to you, MCON, then well, it's just gonna go off and miss as it runs out of fuel. All right, Noack vessel from Changeling here in the backfield, going to eat a torpedo, most likely CMD on target. Yep, strikes true, takes the torpedo launcher. Up top, I think Jeff's Revenge from Jeffreism. Yep, they're going to take a hit there. Loses their antenna, which is another one of the important things. Those command seekers do require antennas to be intact, so well, it might be a small
This is
hitbox.
an ARAD primary, so it's probably still going to connect, yeah.
Yeah, CJ takes that actually on the nose for very little damage. Just a basic CIC in this thing for the parallax and such.
Yeah, when it hits like the nose, like literally on the snoot, it usually doesn't reach that far back
Yeah.
into the ship. Where if you take it like above or below the snoot, then it goes deeper.
See another one of those torpedoes. Okay, now starting to see a bit of exchange here as both sides squaring off against each other. DJ going to take a hit there to the drive section and antenna. Torps going up
Oh no,
top.
and their command missiles they just launched are now offline.
That's unfortunate. No seeker connection. I feel like blue team might be a little bit bloodied in certain exchanges, but I think that like with 2 pickoffs of orange so far, I think they're doing a little bit better. Potatoish gonna eat more torpedoes in the backfield here and is knocked out as they get sniped on. I think it was their, the Restorer got taken out there. That's going to be a reactor crit. Probably the first bloom we'll see tonight, as that thing's gonna go off in minute 48, and there's nothing to fix it. All right, the what's that? Magic Spirit? No, the Strider is going to eat a torpedo hit here by the looks of it and loses its antenna and such. Right as I had fired a command seeker torpedo. That's unfortunate. And it's desyncing on my screen to. But it's actually going to find its way straight true and home. Interesting. What? How does that work? Oh, it had a wake second there. Maybe that made it go true. Interesting.
It's an interesting engagement in the back here with a flanking orange. With the Black Cat Internet Explorer coming around.
Able to outrun a torpedo there. Looked like from, who's that? Joyu.
Definitely got a hit. Yeah, Joyu. They got a nice hit on the Joyu and then ran out of range. Very nice. Textbook.
Yeah, I think that the big part of this is just find a way to engage and then very quickly disengage. You have to get your strike out and then book it and run to avoid the incoming fire.
Oh, maybe a bit of an overcommit here. I don't know. There's like 3 torps launched on this.
Maybe an overcommit, maybe here. Not. That will be a full
One of them
kill.
missed. One of them missed. So I guess, yeah, maybe it's worth it.
I mean, guaranteeing that you take out an enemy if they have a intact like loadout, then that makes sense. Edge up top, potentially eating an ARAD here. Will this thing have enough fuel? No, just shy of it by like 100 meters or so.
The circumference. I fucking hate that name.
I love that name.
Will outrun the torp.
Yeah, it's Circumference and his wife, Lady Di of Amateur. Would you like to know about their sun radius?
No.
Cyrabic gonna eat a torpedo hit.
They get a hit and return onto the flint and steel here, but not that much damage. It kind of spread itself among everything rather than grain out something specific. Oh, and Potatoish, remember before, weren't they the bow tanker who took?
Well, now they're the atomized duster, so there's that.
I think they were the earlier bow tanker who just took.
Both sides doing a pretty good job being a little more hesitant with this. We saw a lot more aggression in kind of the earlier games with the smaller maps, but now I think both sides kind of learning a little bit of the elegance of the kind of torpedo dance where they have to try and just toe the line of range, but also be prepared to evade. And it's going to come down partially to the text of like how fast is your torpedo? Does it have enough evasion if a target is like moving laterally to you at flank and such?
Yeah, when we see the geometry of the fight being shaped here, there are 3 blue out of munitions out corves just in the middle of Orange's ball, but Orange has basically a ball formation being surrounded by a concave of blue here attacking inwards.
Right.
You got more torps coming out onto them.
Flint and Steel does manage to get a torpedo launch out into Andy Star, who is going to eat that for no damage again on that one, despite the impact visual. Oh, that's weird. Okay, never mind. The second one's going to hit Andy Star's short torp a lot there. Blue team's mini Claymore takes a smack right as it launches a torpedo. ARAD
but that torpedo, the torpedo is not command, so it will still fly. But MCON'd.
MCON, no rear aspect on that one. I feel like the ARAD type, like maybe to make your opponent blink or like targeting down a parallax is good, but how do you figure out like who has the parallax? It's a little bit difficult in that regard. There's so many ships around, it could be any of them.
Yeah.
Maybe in like a close quarters fisticuff where you force your opponent to shut off radar or something, but at the same time, there's just so many radars around from all these different ships protecting, right?
Oh, Trojan Shadow dodges out of range.
Rock DD. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Uh-huh.
I'm just thinking like in terms of build and stuff, like the the build we're seeing for the parallax style, I think that's pretty good because you do just get the lock factor for your team, and as long as you can coordinate and call the shot on someone, you can then enable like people with command to guarantee a hit almost. Ooh, Noak Vessel eating another one there takes out their their antenna and their torpedo base. They're going to be out of that.
Oh, they had three torps in there, and they have no restores left. That's an unfortunate loss.
Yeah. Another nature of this is it's difficult sometimes to just be able to figure out, like, okay, who still has torpedoes, who is playing possum? Do you have, like, 2 left in the back pocket that you're just going to surprise sucker punch someone with in the late game who's actually worth taking a hit on? Because once you get visual, like, you can see the damage markers on the canter launchers, yeah?
Looking at the, yeah, you can see them smoking, so you can see if someone's thing is out, but you don't know if they'll be able to repair it. As Changeling here, their CLS is now out, but they've got 2 left in the mag and they've got to restore.
Taking a hit here as well. Going to be 1 and then
I see an
2.
exchange there of torps. Oof. So looking at the spectator view readouts here, blue team has a lot more ships alive, but a lot more ships out of ammo. I think orange is, well, let's see. Orange has
Outcast and Poly are healthy.
1, 2, 3.5.
Yeah,
3.5 torps, 3.5 tubes, like 3.5 launchers basically. Blue team has like 2 launchers essentially. They've got 1 and then 1 full and then 2 halves. So yeah, I mean, I think orange team has made a more economical use of their torpedoes with that initial swing to the left flank to take on a smaller portion of the blue team forces.
I think the other part here is just them trying to pick apart and like figure out, okay, who is offensively capable, and that's like a game you have to like play with the visual range. Like if you've been defanged, you don't have an option to like bring your offensive back. Try and figure out, okay, who is like offensively incapable. You can see the destroyed like canter launcher, so you have to identify that to the team and like basically mark them as killed, even if they're not really a threat at that point. Figure who's combat effective or not.
Yeah, as we transition to a game of Among Us here, we need to figure out who's got the torps.
All right. They're talking about torp AMMs. There's some tech to them depending on mag depth. Like if you go for a joust against somebody and you have a AMM to counter one of their incoming, then you can just end up like avoiding having to blink at them. But there's also the technique of when do you want to bail out and like engage. See, right here, Lark River Eagle has 2 AMMs deployed for 1 intercept and failed intercept on the second one. Oh, rip.
Ooh, but it's a glancing hit.
Takes the main thruster, but still, yeah, that survived 2 torpedoes from Kajetan. Kajetan trying to get a 3rd one out, has 2 more torpedoes to go there. Lark River Eagle has nothing left in the banks there. Asking, is only CMB torps and broken antenna with no restores considered unarmed? That I don't believe is. It's offensively capable, even if you can't have the seeker work. So, Kajetan did good work, but eats a torpedo for it in turn. Negligible damage, though. Just takes out the upside radar panels due to a kind of glancing hit on the surface. Alright, Internet Explorer might be eating a torpedo in turn here. Violent Club headed out towards them. The Black Cat may be taking this one on the snoot.
With that launch,
swing and a miss.
Microsoft Edgelord has 1 torp. Kajetan has nothing. Wait, chaff and flares. Why does Kajetan have?
It's in the magazine.
Inside of their mag. Okay, yeah. I
did the same thing.
Joyu has 1 torp. Yeah, blue team is down to 2 torps. Orange team has 6 torps in Outcast, who just hasn't fought at all yet. And 1 more in Internet Explorer.
Goes for an exchange on Edge there. Edge gets smoked by it, and Polly's going to have 2 misses on them.
Polly's out of torps, though.
Yep. Only offensive left now, I think, is just Outcast sitting passive, but at the same time holding on to those torpedoes for late game here. Wait, hang on. Changeling has 2 torpedoes, actually, so, okay, that's a total of
it's
8.
Andy Starr has 2 torps left.
Okay.
On blue team, and that's, I think, it.
All right.
And then Meanwhile, there's Outcast and Internet and Changeling who still have torps left on orange. So
Changeling
that's
confirmed, Internet confirmed, and then, yeah, Outcast confirmed. I think Orange Team is going to take this one again. It's interesting to see how many ships are still left alive after all this. So. There's some part of me that wants to say give everyone, like, a singular Mark 61 or something, just for kicks.
Maybe it would be a decent, actually, addition or change to the rules to say that once you're out of torps, you have to surrender just to make it easier for everyone to identify.
Yeah, that could
or
be.
Maybe that gets, I don't know.
We'll find out. Offensively incapable, then you're supposed to punch out or something. Or just, like, you know, withdraw from the battle space. I don't know.
Outcast firing their first torpedo of the match.
And gonna get a kill with it.
Kills Joyu. But Joyu didn't have any torps anyway, so...
Outcast eats a torpedo, but it only glances slightly there. That was one of Andy Starr's torps. Do they still have any left? They have singular one.
They have one left.
I think
and
this,
if this
next
goes
one's gonna
for
go towards
them
Andy
now-
Starr. That's the only
Yeah.
offensive, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
the game.
they saw Andy Starr fire, and that's it.
All right. Offensively incalculable should retreat to the edge of the map. Agreed. Yeah, I think we'll implement that as a rule, so it's not as much guesswork. It's just torpedo jousting. If you're offensively incapable, you just pull back. If you're unable to pull out, then I guess, like, just eject, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll implement that as the next rule.
We could try that. We could try that and see how that goes.
We're still learning and improving these rules
Listen
as
to
we
your
go.
cat boy.
A new follower. Keep a bot away. Thank you for the follow on that. Let's see. Damage numbers. Changeling pulls 6.4. Dumisen pulling just shy of 8k there. Good numbers on the board. And the standouts. Polymorphous with 6.3. Small good with 5k. Blue Team Trojan Shadow shy of 4k. Microsoft Edgelord 3k. Lambo with the 6.2, call it. All right. Respectable numbers all around for these players. Some of them getting some good hits. Bambi almost 7k on blue. All right. Yeah, neat strategies employed there. Seeing Orange Team's Gambit at first, Blue Team doing good, like, kind of scouting, thinking, okay, something's up. We haven't seen a lot of them, trying to figure out where the enemy's going to be, and then slowly, like, they kind of towed the line, engaged, figured out they were going to charge, baited them into a couple torpedo strikes. They retreated and then went from there. All right. I think we're just waiting on Edge. That's Surazal, and that should be it. Do you have the end debrief command, or?
Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry, I was typing to someone else.
Understandable. All right. I think I'm going to run a 3-minute ad intermission, as that's coming up on the hour, and we'll just avoid having that happen during the games, so.
Alrighty.
Go. Like that. All right, once we get everyone back into event stage, do we want to try the updated rule then?
Yeah, let's try that. Let's just see how that goes. I mean, well, unfortunately, I do need to head out pretty soon, but we can give it a shot.
Yeah. See how it works.
All right, is everyone back up? Oh yeah, I think everyone's back up. Awesome. All right. Hello everyone. So, let's see. I see the pictures of the Sprinter barnacles. I got some pictures of that too. It's very funny.
Sprinter mines.
You are all, yeah, instead of sprint mines, sprinter mines. So, let's see. What we were thinking is for this next match, we could try an experimental rule basically, where once you are out of torpedoes, you need to either head for the withdrawal line or surrender, basically, and just see if that makes it more comprehensible and if that's more fun than doing the guessing game of who still has torps and who does not. If there are no objections to that, we can try that rule and see how that goes.
Yes. This is honorable torpedo combat and jousting and knightly and stuff, so. Guessing game feels more like Submarine Night. Yeah, I guess there is a parallel to Submarine Night where you had to kind of like try and think, okay, did that person fire their full complement? Did they not? Right?
Question in in-game chat, what if CLS is dead but you still have torps? Well, if you can restore it, then you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you can't restore it and you can't fire, then head to withdraw or punch out.
Yep.
All right. Everyone good with that? All right, let's get everyone back moving into their teams. We'll do another one.
Brace
I'll
yourselves
balance the
appropriately.
teams and we'll go.
I think part of the fun is also just as the event goes on and people learn a little bit more about this, we can also throw in like a custom rule now and then. I remember at High Scores One Ship Night, we had some fun there, just like implementing custom stuff, like a boss battle midway through. Asking how many more games? How much more time do you think you have, Lone Wolf, for this?
This will probably have to be the last game. I might even need to go partially in the middle of it.
All right.
If you want to keep this, if the group wants to keep this going, right, the server will be here all day, so you can keep rolling.
Keep going through that then, I suppose.
I will need to head out soonish.
All right.
All right. Let's see. We're not going to do tumbleweed. I don't think that's too large.
Little too big.
Let's try a small testing range again. We've had some cover. Now let's try the classic. Okay. Let's look at these teams.
13 on 12 for starters. Now 13-13. There we go. All right, nobody move for a second.
Let's see.
Honestly, not bad.
Can I have Cogiton swap with CJ? Or no, CJ's in. Oh no, okay. I was gonna say you're in Fleet Editor, but you just came out of it, so yeah. Cogiton swap with CJ, please. Okay, looks pretty good. I think.
Good.
Did I screw that up?
No, looks fine to me.
No, I think that
Nice
swap
mix.
was good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. All right,
No.
excellent. All right, everyone to what am I saying? Team A to bread, team 2 to bullseye. Good luck, everyone.
All right. We're back from intermission Twitch side. Anyways, let's see where things go from here. Gonna make sure my audio is not scuffed on OBS side, because that always, for some reason, happens at the most inconvenient of times, and I don't know why. Oops. Wrong button. There we go. That should work again. I'm liking some of the tech and stuff that we've seen, just like as people figure this out, like figuring out positioning, like how do I like go for who's on the approach, like trying to get that flanking shot, because you can manage range really well with like one target that you're picking, but then you don't watch your flanks as much, and somebody gets within like 2 kilometers and drops. It's like, oh, I'm not evading this.
Yeah, definitely. You can't get tunnel visioned on your one jousting opponent, which is where the fun comes in.
I think we might see some people develop into like kind of wingman playstyle, where like you get pairs of torpedo vets, like you have one person going for the strike, another person kind of like plays cover, tries to intercept anyone else who goes for you.
It's actually interesting because with command, right? If you have 2 corvs advancing together, right? If they fire a command missile into one of you, then if you can figure out who that is, then that one person just backpedals, and then the other person can continue in forward. But I guess then you just launch one torp on both, so I don't know.
Could be some merit either way. I still think about the idea of just having the parallax craft like in the vicinity and being able to designate like, okay, that one dies, and then you get the perfect command hits. Be interesting to see how it goes. Requires coordination though, which in a like group close call like this is going to be interesting on a good day. You know how like a 4v4 sounds on certain maps.
Yeah. Here I think it's a little bit more manageable because you only have like one ship, right? So it's less, and you don't have capture points to worry about, so it's a bit more chill.
Call a target, drop the thing in like text chat there, click to it. It's like, all right, we'll focus this thing, get that lock, try and like have somebody like maybe go for the joust, and another person comes in from the flank. I think it's also a statement just to like the kind of versatility of Neb, just like as a vehicle for fun game modes like this. Like you can play the standard like 4v4, 5v5, like ABO 3K on like whatever 3K, right? Or you can decide, hey, let's go Ruddle Knight, or let's go Corvette Jousting. Just one of those like little fun things. Look forward to when the like campaign editor or whatever thing comes out and somebody's going to program it like StarCraft engine. You'll have like custom game whack-a-mole in a week.
All right. I'm just realizing I also probably should actually like eat some breakfast before I go do my other thing, so I may just hop out here,
All
honestly.
right. I think I could run this one decently well. We got the teams
Yeah, all
organized and
right.
set.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no worries. You have a good one, Lone Wolf.
Yeah, you have a good one. I'll check in later to see how this new rule went.
Yeah. I'll have to stay in the event stage,
Yeah.
but I was planning to stay here anyways, because
Yeah, alrighty.
firm thing in that. That'll be fine, though. All right, let's hope these teams get themselves organized in that. Nice try, Lone Wolf. I beat you with your typings.
Well, because I'm typing more things. All right. See y'all. Bye.
Yeah, you have a good one, bud. All right. Anyways, now it's down to just the Catboy and his various Neko nonsenses. We'll see how this goes. Where things end up. Hang on. Alrighty. Get Star to co-cast again. I think Star's busy today. Otherwise, I think they would have been participating in this. So, let's see, we got 13 on 14. Okay, Lone Wolf had to dip out. Need volunteer to teams, please. There we go. Try and get this all organized. 14 on 13, something like that. Not ideal, so we'd want to do that. Yeah, hopefully get somebody to hop out of that one. Where was it? Jeffrey's limit volunteer. There we go. All right, 13 on 13. That's perfect. Excellent. We salute them. Yay. Get back there, you two. We only need one of you. That's 12. Alright, perfect. That all kind of works itself out. Alright, teams locked. Teams lock it in. Let's go. Don't want to have this thing go too long in Lobbulous. Hopefully everything will work. Okay. I really hope that the server doesn't crash, because if I have to hop through server channels and try and pull people back, I won't be able to get speaker roll again. So we'll see how that goes. 115. Oh, would you just stop hopping to spectators? Your team's locked. Get out of here. Count, y'all. 12 versus 13 now. Building a fleet from scratch for this. There's pre-mades. All right, Big Sippy has been requested. I'm actually out of water at the moment. That's a. Want to decide to hop up with that one. I'm gonna just read LKS. Yeah, it's like, come on, y'all. Like, we've had so much time to get this thing together. Spit it up. Out of water. Yeah, no, it's because I drank all my water. You know, actually, yeah. While they're getting this set up, I am just going to quickly hop out and get myself some water. So, yeah, I'll be right back in a moment. Yeah. Okay, everyone, I am back. Wah! Hello, Catboy has arrived. Meow. I mean, who? I'll start that. Alright, I'll accept this for some cat ears. Meow, 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 meowage. Alright, let's go. This is now a Neko event. Big sippy requested. Alright, very well. Why don't you have staff to refill your water bowl, Neko? I don't know. Where are my staff? I should ping Porgy and Squeebles, find out what they're doing. Catboy can't make enough. Look, I'm a baker cat, okay? I try. I have a very long day of baking biscuits, don't you know? And another big sippy? Very well. Welcome, everyone, to the fight thing. Reminder, if your combat capable... Can't get your CLS online are empty to withdraw or evac. Otherwise, how about it? Yeah. We're just going to do that as a little custom rule set here. Encourage people to commit into combat instead of having to play maximum guesswork. Yes. They've been abandoned by the rock, apparently. All right, both teams kind of deathballing it here, just going like full ham on each other. No fancy line formation stuff here. Yeah, there it is. The rock is stealth coding. It's part of the modular craft update, obviously. Love that one. All right, Rock PD will save us. Stealthy Rock PD. Throw a brick at him. I mean, what is a torpedo but a very explosive brick, right? I mean, they hit like one through a glass window. Shaking the fist, yeah. All right, looks like, actually, it's the other way around. There we go. Yeah, blue team is team 1, orange team is team 2. Let's see how this goes through. Blue team just locking it ready up. Come on, you got one ship to deploy. What are y'all waiting on, right? Like, oh no, my fancy deployment of a cat fleet of one ship, right? Like a beam battleship player who takes like a dozen years to ready up. You got one thing, click it. 5 seconds to go on the board. Let's see how this violence ends up going. Both teams going to be, I think, just probably going for like the straight death ball strategy for this. We'll see how things end up deploying. Oop, bit of dispersion there, as we can't see the tracks. Well, they were very tightly grouped together on the like map screen, or the map screen, the deploy screen. There's a little bit of staggering to them. All right, orange team has got a bit of a like kind of slant to their deployment. Blue team, mostly densely packed down here. You see Microsoft Edgelord runs the top there, and who's the outliers here? We got like Polymorphous Neuroid on one flank. That Sim, we've got Outcast, all these various Corvettes and their glorious names. Kind of see if I can capture them all. And nice little stuff there from that side, and then we get a couple of these ones with blue. If I can try and like catch all of them, something like that. Yeah, there we go. Bunch of them out here. All right. Anyways, mass torpedo Corvette combat. Let's see what ends up happening. Everyone's splitting different directions. Some of them automatically retreating here. Maybe going for like the flanking pathing. Interesting. Actually, they're happening from both sides. Both of them kind of like pulling back. Maybe these are the lockers. Yeah, these are parallax. Is this one also parallax? Yes, they are. All right, here we go. Here's the tech starting to come out to play. So, because they've got like the 9.5 kilometer radar range that can block and there's no interference. They should be able to just do that. So if they have some of these kind of acting as AWACS at the backfield here, It means that the forward, yeah, here we go. Forward players like this, Mr. Train just diving for glory right now. ARAD Wake sent out here to see in turn a whole bunch of torpedoes launched here, as basically everyone's just going to let rip. This might be a hilarious overcommitment. That is a huge joust as both sides commit on target. You can see the Nightfall takes itself at, yep, okay, so that is going to be Mr. Train going down there with a drive overload. That could be big if they don't clear that in sufficient amounts of time. You can see Nightfall here from Dark Ranger takes a crippling strike as well. Both teams just laying into each other. Okay, Boom Mike guy takes a heavy hit there. Gonna lose their cantrip launcher and stuff. They can restore it, though. All right, you can see more of these torpedoes going out here. ARAD, so some of the people are going to MCON, other ones not so lucky. You're going to see, oh, bit of ramming action there as these Torpettes just going to spin out hilariously. Both teams just on the joust, brutalizing each other here as we have probably the bloodiest opening we've had yet. A couple of these torpedo vets have been defanged. Sir Torpilot from Andy Star here is still technically alive, being a reinforced brick, but besides that, yeah, that was a bloody exchange on the start. Right. Starting to see a couple flankers coming around here from blue team. Orange team looks like they got their cohesions maintained somewhat here. This ship is going to be able to get itself restored eventually in time. In combat, ineffective. Nope, they're one of the... This claims it's parallax, but it is not. Clever mind games there. Torpedo on target here towards the flint and steel from Kaiba is going to just smack into this thing. Takes out the torpedo complement there. They will have to punch out or retreat as there is no restores left for the ship. So, house rules and all that. You see, in turn, their torpedoes will miss their target. Did they have an antenna malfunction? No, just track quality error. All right. Bloody brutal exchange right down the middle there. So, yeah, we'll see how things end up going. Players are asked to withdraw if they are combat incapable or otherwise eject. So, see some people surrendering now. Might be some of the dead, might be some of the still living. All right, these are called ARAD Wakes, but they're both command. Little mind game there. Command in turn here. We'll see which one of these ends up landing first. Looks like the higher speed torpedo will take out the command deck there. Will that end up changing things? No, it does not, as they were stationary and I think got run into. Ooh, reactor bloom right in the middle here. Going to flash fry a whole bunch of these Corvettes. Does a little bit of damage across the area, but that can be quite scary because it can end up killing off damage control teams if you're too close to the blast. Oh, it's a catboy. Yes, it is a catboy. There you are. There's the staff. Wonderful people we wanted to see. All right, Command Seeker going to swing and a miss there. We've got an ARAD Wake going out here looking for one of those. Parallax here might MCON. Let's find out if it does. Does still have its radar on. That's going to be trouble here in a second. That's going to go straight and true right into that radar panel. Oh, no. The antenna has been knocked out here. This torpedo is not going to find a target. Ramble, smack goes another command into them. That is going to be a combat incapable ship for the moment. More torpedoes going out here looking for anything they can. Some of them will get onto target and unfortunately die out there. Yeah, these command torps doing their best work that they can once they get a lock onto a target is really hard to juke one of them. This one is going to find its way into the midsection there. Guts the ship, has one restore, has to choose radar or that torpedo launcher. Obvious answer there. More torps. Bum Ratty is going to take a brutal hit there. Has restore ability, but that will knock them out of the game, so they have to eject and stuff. People are combat incapable. They are asked to eject and things. When they restore this, they're going to quickly realize that this actually kills your ship off because you have to get a power source. So, oops. Minor whoopsie. Funny moment can happen there in a bit. Big Sippy has been requested. Very well. Deploying Big Sippy. Everyone drink up. Lovely water. All right. Torpedo out here towards the Chevalier Malfait, I think. Loses its CIC and is going to be out of the game there. Had fired one torpedo off, but that's not going to find anything. These ARAD is going to try and find something, but probably be too far away. Another torp here going towards Suraz. That, how do I pronounce the name? Surazal, I think it is. See them not get hit here. Sourdough's good. Sourdough is good. Ooh, another reactor bloom there. That's spicy. Yeah. I should make bread again. It's been a while since I made bread. Do that. Have fun. A little Baker Cat action. More torpedoes here as Bambi is going to be suffering. Go see another one of these hit them. Yeah, that's going to be a brutal strike. They've got one restore left, and they are currently unable to move. So that's going to probably be them out. Yeah, that's them out. To this game, they're calling. Yeah, double bloom action going on there. All right. This reminder, if you're combat incapable, to exit the battle space or eject. You are trying to do a little bit of cleanup, make it so we get more torpedo and torpedo action, not just punching dead ships anymore. So expend your combat payload, and then go from there. Yo, it was caused by the other Bloom. Bloom setting off Bloom. That's kind of a scary thing. And people go to singing Torpedo launch now. How fast can you run is a good question. This is set towards the mini Claymore here, which is healthy with 3 torpedoes still left in the banks. This thing is trying to deploy its own torps, but it's going to be too late. Crunch goes into this thing as it loses its own torpedo launcher. A bunch of the radar panels and such go down. ARAD is going to go off here towards a... that's going to be Inner Explorer in the background. Will this have enough fuel at that distance? I don't think it will. Probably just going to come up short. Oh, yep. Close one. Just barely comes up short there. The team's brutalizing themselves. They did correct this and now realize they had to fix the Prowler drive there, or else they're going to end up burning out. See who still has ammunition here. This thing still has... Yeah, it's got some damage control teams. Fairly charbroiled, but still. Kind of what you expect. Command Torps going here towards the Circumference from Edge. No, Circumference, you had a family! Crunch! This thing goes down as it is just knocked out with the... not a, like, kill of the components, but no damage control team in combat. Or... No damage control team plus destroyed module. There's the third Bloom going off there. Alright, it is Reactive Bloom Central out here, apparently. Orange team is down to just 4 of their torpedo corvettes. We're going to see if anyone is available in the backside here. These people attempting to exit the battle space and disengaging. Yeah, that's 3 Blooms. Alright. These ships still have offensive armament. Damn, Ambient Lamp is fresh as they can be, all things considered. They've got their Parallax and a bunch of torpedoes here ready to go. Kazakhstan, in turn, they have no damage control teams, so they still got 1 torpedo left. This 2 torpedoes left on Sorazel. Being over here, Changeling is trying to get themselves back up operational. That said, they will not be able to be combat effective. And Explorer is in it still, and Outcast, I believe, is in it. Yep. Interestingly, these players not electing to bring damage control, or several of them not electing to bring damage control. Billcrafter might be doing an error here. They still have a torpedo, but are actually drifting outside of the withdrawal line. I think they're trying to move back into the battle space now. We'll see if that ends up biting them or not. Torpedo has been deployed here going after them. And we've asked players if they're combat ineffective to eject or disengage, so anyone who's still alive should still be in the game proper. Torpedo likely find its way home here. Yep, that's going to be a crippling blow. Combat ineffective now. Command Seeker is still on target somehow. Oh, that's interesting. Command Seeker still works if your CIC is redded out. That's a 4th Bloom, though, and that's going to be Kazakhstan with a unlucky CIC snipe there. That... I feel like that shouldn't work. Like, if your CIC is down, then your CMDs shouldn't work there? Interesting. A 4th reactor Bloom goes off here. Alright, yep. Is it that unlikely? I don't know. Y'all built them. A lot of unchecked fires and stuff here. People neglecting damage control teams. Alright. Dark Ranger over here is combat effective and is retreating from the battle space as was requested. Here comes a volley of torpedoes headed towards Bilib here. That's a Trojan trying to get some avenging strikes out. Bilib most likely going to eat these. 1 hit to the center stack and then another one going to take them out. Reinforced components not repaired. In turn, we're going to see Internet Explorer loses their reactor, their antenna, and their whiplash drive. Needs to get that thing repaired in a second here. Ancient, let's see, who's this? I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. SGM something or other. Ambient Lamp here is circling around Changeling, wondering if they should go for the kill or not. Ship should be tasked with exiting the battle space as was requested, so we will see that shortly. Alright, let's get a torpedo count here. Ambient Lamp has got themselves a full complement. Andy Star has got themselves a full complement as well. They're just sitting in the middle of the map, slowly repairing themselves up here. Playing possum for the moment. I think that Orange Team still has some lethality in them. Outcast has got 4 torpedoes left. And Explorer has got 3 torps, but I think they might be taking a hit here. Yep, that's going to be them crunched. Unfortunate pick off there. That was 3 torpedoes they really want to have. Let's see. They're asking about Surzal. Still torps. Yep, getting the kind of confirmation check here. They do still indeed have torpedoes on this. They're advancing ass towards enemy, which is kind of interesting. Trying to use that reinforced drive to tank hits, avoid the front stack getting taken out. Just Hash and Cake, they're calling it now. Any of these other ones have offensive ability? No, does not look like it. This one has lost offensive ability. Yep, so it's going to be down to just Orange Team's Outcast here. Blue Team, I think, yeah, like, I think Orange Team had a bit of an advantage there for a little while, but Blue Team with some good comebacks on these engages. Trojan Shadow, being cautious about this, has 2 torpedoes, is wondering which one of these targets is still alive. I think Outcast trying to play possum here on the withdrawal line. There's their torpedo sent out against Surazal. Surazal should have their own torpedoes ready. Are they firing on target? They have 1 mixed salvo queued up. Are they within range, though? Given that they're on approach, this should mean that the torpedo lands on Surazal. They might be able to drive tank this. We're going to find out. Crunch takes out the antenna and the torpedo launcher. Torps are out in the water, though. These are both command, unfortunately. Not going to be any offensive power with that. To show why approaching your enemy can be very risky. Surazal gets smoked by 1 to the front section here. All right. Trojan Shadow now has the opportunity to approach. Outcast got to be low on torpedoes, down to just 2. Still, that might be enough. Andy Star has got themselves a full complement of torps, and they know their target, so they should be able to engage onto this. Seeing 1 of the withdraws going off there. Both teams beaten, bloodied, and bruised, but otherwise able to generally still fight. Torpedo launch out here. Will there be an intercept from Trojan Shadow? I don't know if they have multiple types or not. They've just fired off their torpedoes as is. CMDs are out on target. I think one of these might get through. Find out that is going to be Crunch goes that. That'll be victory to the Orange Team. Trojan Shadow takes a hit there, but is able to survive. GG! Yeah, those custom rules. We're going to run that stuff. That's good fun. All right. Couple of players not able to get damage done, just crunched, unfortunately, before they could get their shots out. Other ones able to pull some respectable numbers. 8K from Lambo over there. Nice stuff. That's this. What's that? Patrick Akira pulling 6.2. Good stuff. Surazal with a nice 8.3. 4.3 from Trojan Shadow and 3.2 even from Watchman there. Bambi 4.3K. Respectable. Billcrafter 5.8. All right. Changeling with a 5.4. Sweet stuff. What else we got? Any other big standouts? A little 4K in there, 3.6. All right, let's ready it up and go into the next one. Yep. Ready up. We'll just move on things from there. Yeah, so far that seems to have worked pretty damn well, if I do say so myself. Yeah, just get everything set back up here, and things should be good. Oh, hello, Vassal. Nice of you to tune in by. Or tune in, tune by, come by. My words are failing me.
Good job. Proud of you.
I'm perfectly capable of sticking my foot in my mouth, thank you.
I don't know, just hopping in to see how everything was going. I ended up missing most of this fight night.
Fair enough. Well, we're still going for the immediate moment here. We're thinking about possibly doing another one if people are interested. Let's see. Kind of organized teams somewhat. We'll have a decent enough player count, I think. Go for a Pebbles large game again. That could be fun. Yeah. Custom rules seem to be working pretty well, so I think we're going to stick with them and go from there. See if this works. Is it not? Should be fine. Just really big for a second so I can just get this centered on you. There we are. Yes, the lovely Vostal is joining me here. I'm just live editing my various UI elements. Nothing will ever go wrong with that, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. I'm already regretting it. Alright, that looks... it's no more jank than usual. Nice. Alright. Yeah. There is our resident favorite seal enthusiast and seals, beams, plushies. Am I missing anything?
Legend of Galactic Heroes, of course.
Right.
It's the profile picture.
How could I forget? My resident Bidenfeld. You can even tell by the picture. Anyways, so yeah, I think that... I feel like we're good for one more here, just by the looks of it. Same
Alrighty.
rules
And we
as
got-
last time. Yeah, so we have the custom rules implemented for anyone who's just like kind of tuning in or joining, where once your ship was rendered combat incapable, you either punch out or you exit the battle space. Just kind of make it down to the honorable combatants, gladiatorial style in that. It was kind of fun playing like the guessing game of who has torpedoes and who doesn't, but this kind of streamlines it a little bit more. All right. 9 versus 9. Teams seem pretty fair, I think.
Let me take a look. See here. It's decent. I don't think there's any need to move anyone from one
Yeah,
side to
I don't
another.
think this is like a big enough like thing that you need like huge experience like changes for anything. Yeah.
Hmm.
Plus, honestly, some of the newer players who just like are really reckless and go for it and like get like all their torpedoes out on target end up actually doing better because you can end up dying to one torp hit with a full bank. It's well, use them if you got them, right? I'm getting one more late join there. We have Billib and Spectator if they want to hop in. We also people shuffling around trying to pick which team they want to be on. There we go, 10 on 10. That looks good.
All right, I'll just do a last call then. If you are still looking to play, we've got a 10v10 going on right now. If anyone else is looking to join the server in the next 30 or so seconds, do so now, or forever hold your peace. After those 30 seconds, we'll just have the teams drop down to their voice calls and start and get on our way. When it's not necessarily a 10v10 lock, 30 seconds isn't over yet, Catboy.
Yeah, but do you think there's going to be somebody joining the next 30 seconds?
You never know, you never know.
Well, I've jinxed it now,
These
haven't I?
things, they happen. There might be 20 people that join and we could double our numbers. You never know.
Ah, I
these
see.
things.
Yeah, that Canyon match will wrap up, right? And then everyone will hop in.
Yeah, 1 wee second. Let me take a look. Okay, can I have Team 1 go to Bullseye and Team 2 go to Buzzkill? Good luck to you all. Team 1 to Bullseye, Team 2 to Buzzkill.
Well, with any luck, things should only be slightly scuffed. We had the server hang at one point and we all had to exit, but I don't think that'll happen again. At least I really hope it doesn't.
Oh, someone connected.
Yes.
And
Someone
then...
joined and then like people hopping around here can't decide, I guess. There we go, that's balanced.
Oh, so...
Uh,
Billib's sipping out. That's very kind of Billib.
Yep. I appreciate them hopping in and out as needed. 10v10 organized. Yeah, it's Corvette night. What the hell? Just go for it.
See a few folks still in the audience as well. Make sure to join your team voice calls. Unless you're scared of being in a large voice call, which I don't blame you. It's very scary because, you know, I don't know, it just is.
Yeah, it's understandable. Some crowd influence stuff there.
Could you imagine being in a voice call with like more than 3 people? It'd be crazy. So much noise.
Yeah, surely couldn't be me or some other nights like Coliseum fights, right?
I used to run, there's this game I used to play, and one night we had 90 people in a voice call.
Oh,
That was something.
Yeah.
Of course, most of them, we were maintaining a level of comms discipline during the whole thing.
you get 90 people in a call though. There's gonna be noise.
Well, more like in the actual game itself, it was very, very, very loud.
I remember some of the most fun I've had was like Battlefield servers or something along the lines. Like you get 64 players, just alt mics, like at the end of a match, just the level of shit talking that happens after like people have slogged through like a first-person shooter for an hour.
Oh god, so the main game we used to play a lot, 2 to 3 years ago was a game called War of Rights.
Okay.
It's still around, still very popular, and the way it works now is that it's 200 versus 200.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it's like, and it's a first-person shooter, so it takes 20 seconds to reload and all that stuff. Great.
That's gonna
it's
join.
like
What is
actual
the
line
password?
battles.
The game's currently locked,
Oh.
but the password's lowercase Joust, Joust.
I mean, if we can get A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I.
Alphabet. We're
It's
just
not
calling
actually. Wait,
alphabet.
no, it's a lie. A, B, C, D, E, F, J, G, K, I. No, that's an L, M, N, O, P, R. That's. I don't like that.
Or maybe they
Makes
just
me
ran out of letters and
uncomfortable.
stuff. They wanted to get the whole thing, but they could only afford half of it.
It's not even in the right order. Well, I mean, it is in the right order. Let me tell you.
Okay, they're missing an eye. Big whoop.
Okay, no, it is. It's in the right order. Okay. Just skipping some things.
Yeah, they're missing the H. They're missing an I. Yeah. They just pick the letters that they like best, you know?
This is a terrible pattern, sorry.
Alright, what are we waiting on? Tell you, Matt. Damn, Radmiral's
I'll
holding
leave
up
the
lobbies and
casting
stuff.
to you, and I will run away. Good luck with the next game. I was just looking to see how everything was going. People are enjoying the games, yeah?
Yeah, everyone's been having a blast. It's been a great time. Figuring out more or less how things go. Except, it's
Okay.
one ship. ARAD.
Alrighty then. Well,
There's always one.
And avoid hard narcotics.
Anyways, that was the local Vastal tuning in to check on us, hang out and stuff. We appreciate them. All right. Come on, Natalia, Matt, hurry up. Yeah. All right, are they good? There we are, finally. Let's get this going. All right, 10 seconds. Make this a match, shall we? Pebbles large. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hopefully no crash. I think it was Flint that crashed. Yeah. OBS actually has no O, at least it feels like. I'm currently messing with OBS. OBS is for Open Broadcast Software, if I remember the acronym right. I always joke about it's like only broken software stuff, but that's my personal thing where I find new ways to break software. Anyways, right. Team 1 of the blue chunks, you see them there deploying on the left. Team 2 in the orange, you can see them deploying here over on the right. There's going to be round 2 on the large pebble, where we have a fun little map here, just center rock, and then a little bit of this cover sprinkled around. Fun for this annihilation mode. I don't know what control would look like on this, but could be fun. Maybe for like a smaller game mode, like you get a like 2v2 or 3v3 going. It's always kind of interesting, just the differences, like when you cut down the number of fleets, like, okay, which assets are the ones you're gonna like not bring along instead of having the 12Ks? You gotta do with like 9K. Do you like end up cutting some of your front line? Do you include a carrier with that? Can you include a carrier? All right, well, blue team deploying themselves in this nice kind of line and battle group up top. They've got a little, just a detachment on the side there. Orange team maybe going for the rock again. We'll see. They attempted this first time they played this map, but they tried to slide onto the rock here, become little sprinter mines, as it were. See if they could have the torpedo launchers angled outwards and stuff there. All right. A big search. Yeah, let's do this, shall we? Wow. Okay, orange team all but readied up as Bambi last to lock in. Blue team still has a couple of stragglers, probably discussing some strategies as they try and see where they can deploy this stuff here. Yeah. Big Catboy on, yeah. Catboy's not like eepy, you know, but it's just like, I've got the nice, calm, relaxed state. I just get to watch torpedo carnage happen. Probably eating way too many chips this afternoon, and I'm likely due for a nap, so there. Okay, here comes the deployment. Let's see what we got. I think this might be orange team side, given the staggering. That's certainly a name to see as we fly by. Okay. I think that hopefully this event will give people a renewed appreciation for the Torpedo Corvette and just how much damage that thing does. Orange team deploys here towards their lovely rock. We're going to see them sending all their stuff there. Blue team go to deploy in this nice kind of arcing formation here. Let's check these edge ones. These are just going to be front lines, and this one's going to be frontline track correlator. All right, so people have adapted that tech. The Sprinter basically has a built-in track correlator, for anyone who's not familiar with the hull's intrinsic modifiers. Makes it so command torpedoes without a lock can generally hit targets, but sometimes it could be a little bit iffy on a good day. Just a little bit of the case of, you know, small track quality error, wrong angle and stuff. You can sometimes have a torpedo that just barely grazes by somebody. All right. Kazakhstan up here looks like they've deployed high. They are running the parallax builds. They're going to be one of the locking devices for their team. Going to be trying to use that to also scout out further due to having that 9.5 radar range. All right. About to cry the Vestal. All right. I'm going to see a drive tanker, I think. No, not a drive tanker. This one is, I guess, just pointing afterwards enemy in hopes to get out of range if it comes to that. Honestly, kind of respect that because the meta strategy has seemingly been for the cold launch torpedoes, just slot them out, let it flip around, and then fly towards your enemy. It's like a small distance attack to pay versus the VLS, which isn't that big. It'll matter for like hot launches and stuff. So if you get a hot launch, you can possibly catch up to your opponent, but yeah, it seems to be the best strat is to pull your missile while running away. It burns its fuel towards the enemy. They don't have a chance to evade, or they're forced to break off. A bunch of interesting little stratagem to be found with that. All right. Just regular torpedoes. I'm noticing how a bunch of these people just electing to not bother bringing damage control, just deciding, well, if I die, I die. So in some ways, kind of respect it. I think we get a repeat of last time. Yep, here we go. It didn't work first time. Let's see if they get it around the second time, seeing all of these sprinters just trying to relocate themselves into the rock here proper as they are doing their angling jukage. They're trying their best. A couple of them are angled the wrong way around, but they'll eventually get there, seeing if they can do this trap again. Their plan is to play forward with some of their picket scouts, trying to detect the enemy. We see blue team is pressing over the top of the rock here. They might pick up on this strategy. I am not sure if there's probably been some swaps between teams since then. Mostly randomized and such, so we'll see how things end up going. Blue team is staggering themselves out a little bit. Some of them burning forwards with their whiplash sprint drive. Other one's going to be lagging back a little bit here. Actually, this is just a whiplash as well. They're just not on flank speed. Nukes are banned by stable, and for good reason, because there's enough things that go radioactive in this battle space. All right. Seeing one of these ships flip through the midsection of the map there. We're going to see what ends up happening if they detect this or not. Okay, 80 Riser over here is going to be spotted. I think Bambi is also going to... What is the ranging on that? That is definitely within detection range. There we go. That's going to be detected, this one as well. Somebody got a burn-through ping. I believe it might have been Outcast. Yeah, Outcast with the parallax there. Maybe a bit of a risk with no damage control teams. You can take like a ping or two of like the burn-through damage, but it does add up over time if you're reckless with it, so got to watch out for that. I know on things like liners or just OSP builds, I'll hit my Huntress's burn through and I'll just end up with a fire and it like immediately. I'm like, well, that sucks. All right. Kazakhstan's going to be one of the forward scouts over here looking for clues. Let's see if they will pulse their radar or not. Orange team kind of getting detected around the wings here. Blue team otherwise kind of going dark. See Andy Star and Italian Matt here have been detected at that like range bracket, but otherwise they're just kind of hanging back for now. Yeah, blue team has claimed top of the map here. It's a little different than their advancement on the side last time around. See them now kind of spreading out here. They think that possibly the enemy might be under the map if they don't have scouting there. All at the same time, they might be thinking, are they doing the same strategy with the surprise Corvette trick? As you see here now, these sprinters are loading up their lovely sprinter mine setup here. Watch these things all go out around here. Excellent. Okay, just taking a look around here now. Both teams kind of hesitant to get into each other. They know roughly where some assets are. Oh, big gun, whoa. Yeah, big gun, yeah. Like I was saying, both teams a little hesitant to get into it. They know the lethality of this. They know that the other is up to something. I think that blue team is just widely off the radar right now. They're starting to advance a little bit cautiously here. You see them now spreading out a little bit, trying to get some of their locking devices onto targets here. These parallaxes like to go wide, play that supportive role, get a lock on target, and let their kind of frontline fighters go through with it. You don't want to put the parallax on the front yet, because you want to ideally have like fancier torpedoes or faster ones or something along those lines to be able to put all your points into the offensives. Yeah. All right. Sir Torps even more, as it were. You can see this effect here when you've done a little bit of the frontline burn through pings. You'll get that. Orange team tightening the news a little bit. 4 of their torpedoes probably visible at this time. Yep, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 of them spotted out here. Probably a 5th one going to be moving up and advancing. All right, the Corvettes are going to be unlatching themselves here, probably realizing that their gambit is not going to work. The enemy is thinking here, so yeah. Doing another after this. I think this will probably be my last one for the day. Nice little wait around at the event on around the 3-hour mark or so. And we'll see where things end up going from there. I've got some fleets to modernize and update, and I've also got some Neb stuff to just kind of clean up and post, so we'll see where that goes. All right. 2 torpedo AMMs here set up to intercept. That's going to be a failure on one, intercept on the other. HE-shaped round's going to go out there, and that's going to, I think, one of those will impact, but deal no damage. That's interesting. Mace torpedoes launched. That's going to be a strike into the Lancer here from Italian Matt. 1, 2, it is out of the game. Andy Star is able to pull back and is continuing to fire torpedoes. See an ARAD Seeker go off here. Sim has turned off their radar, so they are not going to take another hit. Still, they have been smoked here. Italian Matt will throw in the towel and surrender there, so they are out of the game. As first blood goes to the orange team. Blue team is advancing around here. Orange team is trying to go to ground, see if they can hide some of these torpedo corvettes. I feel like this might be a strategy, but it might also be a mistake. Engaging piecemeal can lead to some problems for them. See if the surprise attack comes off here. One thing you can do is if your allies have a track provided for you, you might be able to arc your shots around a rock like this. One thing to consider with the terrain. Potential use case for like cruise TRP strikes. I'm not sure how many people are capable of doing that. I myself, I forget how to do that, and yeah, I probably should review that missile tutorial. The Callahan over here is ready to launch. We'll just flip ourselves over. There we go. Now it's right side up. Gordon's from Foxhole represented on that one. That's the faction I played. I like their uniforms. They have fun helmets. Anyways, the Parallax here is currently combat incapable as it is missing its launcher. There's going to be a torpedo out here. Woo! ARAD and Wake can detect absolutely nothing. This command, however, will lock onto target and hopefully strike. Oh, just shy of fuel. That's unfortunate. One torpedo going out here. This is going to go towards the Gallant Galahad from, who's that, Washman, I believe it is. They're going to get struck in the midship and deal no damage. What the hell? Okay, that was a D6. Never mind. We're good. Interesting. Probably just didn't have a lock there. This one does have a lock and is firing another torpedo. You see one of these CMD ones. Oh no, a hot launch moment there as this thing sends itself into a rock. Has a torpedo inbound towards it. Is the ship locked onto? No, it is not. It may get rock PD'd as well here if they're quick about this. Can they get behind cover just in time? No, just barely misses the rock and will miss the ship as well. Track quality error there. They got very lucky. Now they're finally locked up by an ally. That's unfortunate timing. Skirmish continues over this center rock here. Orange team has sent their detachment of 5 corvettes below the map, but what are they going to accomplish down here is the question. Blue team in turn has all their forces nearby and present so they can pick apart this team as they please. Seeing a couple of nasty strategies come through here as we see Jeffrism trying to group up their group up with an ally to provide like a spotting so that they can come around the rock and get a torpedo on target. ARAD coming out here might be seduced by this incoming strike as those are, yep, there you go. M-Cotton happens there, and that's going to get veered off to the side by those jammers. 3 torpedoes coming out here. That's going to be 1 hit, 1 miss, and 2 hits there. Callahan is crippled for the moment. ARAD Seeker is going to go on target. Bambi needs to M-Con quickly. Bambi might actually get found by the Wake Seeker here as this is going to get into rear aspect. Start seeing this thing now curving and turning, and is going to, just barely swing and a miss there. The Callahan can be recovered, although it is going to be suffering for a little bit here. That is a lot of damage they have to repair. They're not bothering with their restore quite yet. Just going to try and elect to repair things. ARAD with a Wake is going to run out of fuel, chasing after Kachetan's Vulcan there. Parallax down here, I think still has a torpedo left in the banks. Yep, it has 1 left that it might potentially use. They do not have power currently, so their radar means they don't detect anything. I think that they might be able to... Yeah, they still have their antenna, so they can get a point-blank shot out here. Going to be a torpedo missing there. Infantry lance deployed against, who's this? Chingsling's ship down below. CMD with ARAD secondary going to go after this thing and strike true in the midships. Crunch takes out the small locker. CIC is redded. Cannot assign fire orders, but still does have command as that antenna is still online. I feel like maybe if it doesn't have CIC, it shouldn't get that, but either way. Torpedo going to strike here. That will take out the launcher, as it were. The CMD ARADs going after this is the Vulcan over here, which has been locked up and I think might be dying here in a second or so. Trying desperately to veer and nope, crunch. Basic CIC goes down. Torpedo, unfortunately, striking into the rock there. Sim with the parallax will live 1 minute longer. 2 actually into the rock. That is a very big thing. Is Torp gonna go up there? Why are your torpedoes missing now? They wish they knew. Where was Changeling on the board there? Good. Where were they? They're orange team, actually. Here they are. Got torpedoes headed towards them. ARAD Seeker going out here. Doesn't have anything to seek onto, unfortunately. Yeah, torpedoes get a little quirky sometimes. There's a little bit of error with the command seeker as well as track error in turn. So you can like get generally center mass, but occasionally it'll just be a little bit offset. So you won't end up hitting. Big sip of water there. All right. You're still active. You can recover and will take a little bit to do so. Orange team coming in with the flank now. I like the theory of this, but I'm not sure if this is the play or not. They can definitely get into the rear aspect, but how fast will blue team be able to spot this, recover, and then re-attack? The Changeling here was wounded before. Kajitan was knocked out. Sim here with the parallax, they are crippled for the moment, and this will probably be it. That's a Heckby torpedo that just missed. Okay, this thing is technically still alive, but does not have offensive ability, so it's asked to exit the battle space. One of the requests we have. All right, there's another one of the ARAD Wakes missing. I feel like the ARAD Wake torpedo is just not what you want in this situation. The CMDs seem to be consistently just what you want to go for. Maybe sprinkling in an ARAD to make somebody blink could work, but I feel it's a bit more of a complication than anything. These are, I think, hot launched and just going to miss, unfortunately. Yeah, look at them doing that little awkward wiggle there as they try and get on target. These 2 torpedoes going to head out immediately. Boosted self-screening jammers. No lock provided, but this should maybe be enough. Nope, swing and miss on the first one. Second one as well, just narrowly dodged there. One of these torpedoes, ARAD primary with CMD second. Let's see if these end up hitting or not. Got to crunch into one of them, and that will actually take out the CIC. It's a lucky splash there. More torpedoes for good measure. That is a dead ship. All right. Blue team has bled out 3 of their assets. Microsoft Edgelord has been wounded, but is actually unable to fight, so they are exiting the battle space as was requested of them. So they will be limping away. In turn, Orange team has lost 2 players. Sim has been wounded, but is still technically alive here with the parallax. They're asked to exit the battle space as we have the rule before. Yeah, they're saying, is this thing still alive? Insanity. They don't know if it's still combat functional or not, so yeah. Crunch goes that. That will be the ship finally knocked out as the CIC goes down. Took them a while there. Honestly, the Parallax ate so many missiles or just forced them to just expend a massive amount of payload that it probably paid its worth like 3 times over. All right. Blue team expended quite a few of their missiles getting where they are. They have lost 3 of their Corvettes, 4 if you count Microsoft Edgelord, so they're down that much. Bambi, Kajitan, and Sim went down. Changeling is wounded as well, exited the battle space. So both teams have 3 dead on the board and 1 exiting. Means it is currently an even fight. I think the blue team has expended more torpedoes overall, as these torpedo Corvettes coming over the rock here are all full payload, or at least should be. They are staggered, though, which is a bit of an issue for them. Command torpedo is launched out here towards Jeffreysm. This ship does not have a lock on it, so this command might be a little bit wacky. We'll see how it goes. An ARAD Seeker is going to lock onto whatever has radar. This thing is going to take the hit right on the nose and actually soak it pretty well. ARAD with CMD secondary going to go through here and just barely missed the last second. I think that was due to maybe a jamming thing kicking on and them losing track or wobbling otherwise. Torpedoes out here. Going to see which ones they're going for. That's going to be 2 hits onto Jeffreysm by the looks of it, and then Sir Torpilot from Andy Star will take a hit here as well, losing its torpedoes at the inopportune moment. And I think I tell him, I was like, hey, that one veered off. That was weird, huh? So, yeah. A little bit of a strange thing there. I feel like Orange Team slightly favored as they took the better part of that engagement and are now committing onto other targets. CMD Torps out here towards Polymorphs Neuroid. They've got their own CMD Torp out. Going to see which one wins this joust. Probably going to bow tank this as best they can. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Takes out the antenna just as they had fired a Command Torp. Command Torp, nope, going to miss there. One of those, I think, just running out of fuel before impact. Just Revenge, they're trying to get themselves back up operational. They are combat ineffective, though, so they will be asked to exit battle space in that. Someone using hang-up torps have a comms jamming signal. Happens when your antenna dies. Yeah. That's the jam signal on that. Anyways. Command torp going out here towards Polymorphous Neuroid. This should, I think, strike true. I don't think they can turn their ship in time. No, they're trying to, but this is going to hit them midships. Crunch goes that. That is a dead craft. Or ship, whatever. Blue team taking a battering as Orange team has come in from the flank here. While it may have been a delayed strategy, they're certainly getting the effectiveness. Just these torpedoes constantly landing where the blue team's torps, I feel like they've been kind of whiffing. A bunch of those ARAD weight types we saw fired off, just not really quite doing it. While they might be cheap, they are not seemingly proving that effective. As we see here, just going to swing and miss by because somebody just sees torpedo launch, turns off their radar, and that's that. You can force your enemy to blink, but as long as you have tracks fed from nearby allies, you're good. ARAD Wake Validator is actually going to find its way home. Damn. Okay. Anti-Star here are going to be losing most of their ship. They are down pretty well there. They have a restore. No, they do not. More torpedoes coming out here looking for something. And Demison coming through here just like throwing singular command style out. Radar drive makes this thing very good at dodging or repositioning. AD Riser might tank this one. They're going to take it to the drive section, which is just fine. They still have the torpedo effectiveness if they want. Seeing, again, more of these ARAD... That was a Heckby on that. Yeah. ARAD Wake goes out and is going to miss. I assume that somebody on this team has, like, a scryer or something. Seems like it would be a good tech to include, or just play guesswork on. Alright. Torpedo going to find Demison there. They're going to try and get their reactor back up online, see if they can do anything there. Alright. Another torp out here. This is going to be ARAD Wake headed upwards here by the looks of it. Seekers kick on there. A cruise torpedo, no less. That's interesting stuff. ARAD Wake Cruise going to detect Hallow up here. Hallow has not... now they've MCON'd. Okay. Wake Seeker might potentially find them here. Nope. Gonna run out of fuel. Still dips out of spectators there. All right. Blue team is taking a battering. Orange team still has plenty of torpedoes by the looks of it. And their ships might be wounded somewhat. Orbit command going on here. Interesting. Might be trying to orbit enemy ship and play the range game. Jeff's Revenge is out of torpedoes and is exiting the battle space, disengaging here. So Pebble should hopefully pick up on that and decide to commit onto another target. I feel pretty favored for Orange team's odds right now. Many of their ships do still have like full offensive payload, as we see down here. Outcast is just kind of holding down this bottom flank, allowing their team to sweep through and clean up these assets. AD Riser is back here and is combat ineffective, so they will exit the battle space before too long. Hallow's on the run here with only, what's that, 2 torpedoes left? 2 torps on them. Ambient Lamp in turn has got 3 torpedoes, so not looking good for blue right now. There's 2 combat effective assets, and that's it. Big Sippy has been requested. All right, everyone, let's drink up some water. All right. Hallow is giving ground here, wise as they can. Seeing the torpedoes, they've got probably a Wake type and a ARAD in the banks there. CMD is once again reigning true as the king of torpedo seekers, as I think that we're going to see Mr. Train over here fire off first one of them. Something that people requested as a torpedo comes out. All right. Torp is out in the water on the approach here. Will it enter the range of Hallow before it runs out of fuel? Let's see. Thing is on approach, but at the same time, I don't know exact distances these were launched at. These ships are about 3.2k. I think this will just run out of fuel in a moment here. Yep, there you go. It's much better to fire while you are retreating away from the enemy, as you will draw them into your range. Remember, once you fire, that range is static. It's not relative to the ships at all. That's going to be a ARAD Wake Heckby missile going out here towards Kaiba. Will this thing hit? Holy shit, we got a Heckby hit. It takes off the antenna. Does that actually change anything? These are ARAD Seeker type, unfortunately, so it doesn't. Hallow, though, is just going to MCON. All right, yeah, the Heckby Torp finally lands. Wondering. Jeffrism is going to throw in the towel there. Yeah, we actually saw a Heckby strike hit, and it still wasn't enough to kill off the reinforced drive. I think it just got a glancing blow there. Didn't get the full pierce through. All right. Hallow, I think, is down to their last torpedo. Ambient Lamp has got 3 of them left. Go, little cat pixelated creature. Attack them! Destroy them! Another torpedo coming out here, trying, and unfortunately going to miss. That is a Wake Heckbee. That's certainly a torpedo there. ARAD with CMD Val. That's interesting. Huh. I guess you can do that. Like, will that ignore jamming? I guess it will if you fire it on the target. Never see CMD Val with ARAD, so I don't actually know how that'll work. ARAD with Wake going to go over here. Hallow will like to throw it in the towel and surrender as they have expended their payload. Is now down just to Ambient Lamp versus the world. Lamp, make us proud. All right. How many of these Corvettes are left with munitions? 1 torpedo on this one. Good to see you. Size 1 missile, which is just going to be inside of the magazine there just for the haha funnies. Those boom mic guys. Outcast down here has got a full complement, and it's going to then be 2 of them on Real Crafter. Kaiba, I think, has torpedoes still. Yeah, they're just wounded from a earlier hit they took. Orange team got to bear down on this last asset. Ambient Lamp does have the defender's advantage doing the scoot and shoot technique. Come on, Lamp, get them. They're approaching your weapons range. Open fire. Let's see, where's Demison? Technically, you can fight. You're just a turret. Alright, little point defense turret thing there. Excellent. One of those interesting things where, like, we make up another custom rule. It's like, oh, well, I guess, yeah, I suppose that, like, technically is not a thing. Yeah. 3.2 kilometer radius. Yeah, you just have to go over and hit them. It's like somebody's leg got broken, so you just have to go over and get within fist fighting range. Yeah, Lamp on the run here. Come on, Lamp. Hit them. You have one job. Die with honor. Orange team doing their best to play keep up with this one. Whiplash drive on this one. There we are. They're coming a bit to a halt here, dropping their speed. Trying to manage this distance, see if they can get anything here. The defense. They're trying to bait them into range here, hoping they'll overshoot, and then they can kick their thrusters forwards and evade incoming fire. That's the plan anyways. We see them now approaching torpedo range of 3.2. There's a little bit of distance here, but you can measure it somewhat. They know that they're on approach. They're just keeping themselves low here, and that if they just flick their thrusters, then they should be able to fly forwards. I think they're currently on like 1/3 speed, or maybe 2/3. Hard to say exactly which. Getting dangerously close. Mr. Train is most likely going to take the first hit here. They're approaching with a torpedo themselves. Come on, Lamp. You know they're in weapons range on that 3-kilometer mark. Launch. Starting to accelerate now. Come on, fire your missiles. You torpedoes, use them. Good game. Take a Neko F10. Big sip is redeemed. Pass out after an hour. Yeah, let's not do that, Levy, eh? Although we will take a big sippy. Payload is away. Command torpedo is out and on target. Mr. Train has been locked up by a parallax and is desperately trying to get their launch out. Crunch goes them. They're going to lose a lot of their systems there as combat ineffective. ARAD Wake going to try and lock on here, but I think that that will in fact be too far away, judging by the distance. Yeah, I think that they are good here. Ambient Lamp actually getting a good kill there, managing their range, doing this kind of like scoot and shoot style, able to fire behind them. To see, yep, there you go. That thing runs just out of fuel as they will disengage here. Is on Orange Team as the pursuers to try and cut off the enemy here. So it is up to now Ambient Lamp to see if they can defang the enemy team here and try and get any last heroics done. This is the final one I'm going to cast, so I'm going to let them get on with it there. They're going to break the lock here briefly. That said, Orange Team does have the ability to catch up to them. They have Dragonfly Drive and Regular Drive and Regular Drive. Okay, so Lamp does have a speed advantage in the Whiplash there and the Parallax thing, so... Alright. Let's see what they end up getting. A tactical backwards assault. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing, like just being able to basically roll off the torpedo, then it's a static, like 3.2 kilometer distance from where that thing has been deployed that it flies out to. So if you think about it, dropping it behind your enemy is always best because their shots can't keep up to you. So kind of this interesting, like, I say like tail gunner gameplay almost, where you're trying to drop a torpedo to then intercept the enemy on approach to you. You see a torpedo launch out here. Bit premature on that one. Didn't quite get the launch angle they wanted. So we're going to see them now within 3 kilometers here. They are going to cut laterally and maybe be able to get a shot off here. They've got 2 shots to make it count. Torpedo is out here, potentially in range. Going to see what the distance is. That's right on the 3 kilometer mark. As long as Lamp gets a little bit of distance here, they should be good. These last torps coming down here will be interesting. That might run out of fuel. It might not. That's going to be very close here. Yep, just out of fuel before impacting. Call that like maybe 100 meters or so. Yeah, playing dangerous close games here. They do get the full complement strike, but again, this is showing the kind of technique seeing here, just like trying to deplete the enemy of munitions there. Yeah, this is tech. Yeah, this is the thing I was talking about earlier, where someone was figuring out how you do this, kind of running away. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this is one of the strats of just like trying to like force the enemy to chase after you and then drop your torpedoes behind. As we saw there, 4 torpedoes went and whiffed. Whiplash drive means that you're taking less flank damage, but still eating a little bit here. Be an ARAD torpedo out. How many torps are left on them? There's 1 torpedo here. Brill has 1 torpedo here. Can Ambient Lamp just evade all of these torps? Outcast has 2 of them left here. Now, Lamp will have to try and go for the kill here, or at least do some damage. They don't have enough to fully knock out the enemy team currently, but depending how much torpedoage they expend, they could end up bleeding them out and then just depleting the enemy of their like intact combat ships here. So, see how that ends up going. Let's see. Who still has munitions? You have munitions still, right? Yeah, you've got some. You have torps. You have a torp, and lastly, you have a torp. All right. They're really trying for this one. I think Ambient Lamp has the strategy down right. That said, they don't have enough munitions to kill off all of the enemy here. So, yeah. Let's say minutes. There we are. Because, yeah, they don't have enough to fully kill off the orange team here. So, same time, I want to see if they can try and get a kill here or not. So, we'll give them a little bit of time just to kind of figure this one out. But we also want to keep things moving along. Oop. Package delivery guys can wait. Doorbell just rung loudly. I'll just leave it out there. Marathon compared to small testing range. Yep. Shows you, again, the value of having that whiplash drive and trying to get into range. And why playing keep away is so powerful. Alright. It's currently 5:05, now 5:06. So, yeah, once it's 5:10, we will call it there. They're going to get locked up. Trying to catch up to them and just suffering. I'm going to laugh if they end up going over here towards Demisen, and then Demisen ends up actually getting this kill potentially, because they do have a torpedo, they have an antenna, and they are, like, they are here. Why are they taking thruster damage? You can take flank damage even when your, like, engine is shot out? That's interesting. Huh. That's... Alright, you learn something new every day. When your CSA is readied, you can still command torpedoes. When your drive is down, you apparently can still take flank damage. Because, yeah, there's nothing else burning this thing. That's just flank damage for some reason. And you can't control that because their drive is out. Oh, there's a torpedo out on the Joust. Let's see if they can get a kill here on Outcast. Outcast has their own torpedo out, but will get impacted first by the looks of it. Crunch goes them. They are knocked out, and that torpedo is going to be jammed out as it has no more command feeding it. Ambient Lamp with one of the good hits there. They've got one more torpedo left in the banks to make something happen. A good kill we will award them with. All right. Last one, make it count. Just get them to get on with it, as it were. They managed to achieve one more kill here, showing off a bit of the technique and stuff, but we do want to also get the lobby going again, so. Alright. Is this Brillcraft or Kaiba? Just didn't square off here. Yeah, that's a nice little screenshot to have. Torpedoes out in the waters here. Gonna see if this gets the final impact. That should probably be enough. Crunch on the nose of this thing. Does manage to survive barely. Has to get that CIC back up. That might be that. Torpedo out on target there. Going for the kill. Ambient Lamp will, unfortunately, go down there. GG! Big Sippy as a reward. Excellent. Well played. It kind of shows how the mine layer deployment stuff there shows how you can do some fun gameplay with this. Right. Anyways, yeah, big damage numbers scrolling, and Dumisen pulling a respectable 6.3 there. Any other big numbers stand out? Most of this was very tactical. All right, yeah, I think that's going to be the big winner there, Dumisen. Not too many other ones like hitting huge numbers, but then again, Corvettes don't exactly have that much health bars, so 1 hit, 0 damage. Oh, you hate to see that. GG, well played all. That's last. I'm gonna cast. Wrapping up event officially. Play on if you wanna. There we are. Casting over can be raid into people. I was just gonna probably end it off here today. I don't feel like doing a raid for the end of this recording, but yeah. Thank you, Evignon. I've been NekoboyBlue, your local commentator and stuff here, doing Nebulous Fleet Command things on the regular. I have my own stuff and things that I do. You can follow my channel on Twitch if you want. This will go up on YouTube if you want a recap of this fight night from the spectator commenter box, or you can just watch the VOD back. I'll post that as well real quick. And yeah, actually, I probably can just finish this one off and then get this thing uploaded, and that'll be something nice I can do for the evening. So, I will catch you all next time. NekoboyBlue signing off. Meow meow.